check. All right. On a beautiful Wednesday night here at Melching Field, it's high stakes playoff baseball. We do apologize for the late start, but we are back. Dawson Mott currently stands at third base. Brayden Calise just knocked a single to center field, so we have two runners on the corners for the River Rats here at the top of the first. Still no outs, but this is a high stakes game. I'm Adrian Delgado alongside my partner Christian Boussier. Christian, today I mean, the DeLand Suns, it's a win or go home situation, and for the Sanford River Rats, it's win and they're in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's no doubt that playoff baseball is something to get excited about. We just want to update you. Mock also stole that base and
And
Puckett.
Puckett sends this one high towards center field. It's deep enough. Mock will tag up on the sac fly. So will Calise. Throw to second will not be in time, so both runners tag up. And Mock scores the first run of the game in this one off the Puckett sac fly.
And that sac fly brings me to a good talking point that I was going to get into later in the game, but we see it now. That's kind of the key strategy for the Rats. It's just getting balls in play deep enough to where guys can score. Whether it produces an out, it makes them the most productive in scoring runs.
Yeah, in yesterday's game, we saw the River Rats. They run ruled the Suns in 8 innings, scoring 8 runs in that affair. But it was a close one going into the seventh, but some defensive miscues brought runs across, and Brayden Calise had a stellar performance last night, 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. And of course, he moved Mock over to third base, but here is Mueller up to bat. Still only 1 out in this inning after the sac fly, but Rats have a runner in scoring position, and they know a thing or two about bringing those guys in.
You are absolutely right. And you look at Jake Mueller here, too. The most productive this past week for the Rats, being able to get on base so easily. He has been seeing the ball excellent. And for Mueller, also was part of that two-run blast against the DeLand Suns last time they played against the Sanford River Rats. So it'll be key for him to just keep that momentum going as we move into this game, maybe a game 3, and potentially the championship if we get there.
Yeah, if we do get there, remember, Rats lead the series 1-0. It is only a 3-game set, so DeLand needs to pull one out of here to keep their hopes and dreams alive. If that Game 3 were to be played, it would be played tomorrow at Sanford Memorial Stadium, but it's still early here. Rats lead 1-0. 1 out, 1-2 count to Mueller. First pitch to him. In there for strike number 3, so Logan Word gets his first strikeout of the night, catches Mueller looking, and that'll be Anthony Rucco who comes up to bat. Rucco had a big blast on Friday, and we'll see if he's able to make some noise today.
Yeah, Anthony Rucco has also been one of those key guys in the lineup. It seems like a lot of different guys have stepped up since we made it to the playoffs and kind of crossed over that barrier of, all right, the regular season is ending. Let's kind of kick in the gear. You're seeing a new dialed-in Rats team. You're seeing a new dialed-in Suns team, too. Don't forget, this Suns team run-ruled the River Rats just a week ago.
They did. They run-ruled the Squeeze in 2 games as well in a doubleheader the series before, so a lot of noise this Suns team is capable of, but they were absolutely shut down yesterday. 15 strikeouts, that River Rats pitching staff shut the door on the DeLand Suns. They were able to get runners in scoring position, but those strikeouts and some defensive wizardry really prevented them. Swung on and missed, so it'll be an 0-2 count on Rucco.
Take a look at that off kind of canter swing that Rucco just threw. He was definitely sitting fastball, caught that breaking pitch early, but just couldn't jump out in front of it. You'll see that a lot from the Rats, not able to chase a lot of pitches when they do go to chase.
0-2, here's a delivery from Wirt. Swung on and missed. Chased that one, so that's 2 strikeouts in a row. And Wirt gets out of this one, but the Rats do score 1 as Dawson Mock leads off with a walk. Brayden Calise moves in the third, and Stuart Puckett brings them in for the first run of the ball game. But it'll be the Suns have the first. Rats score early, and it's 1-0 here at Melching Field. It's the Suns' half of the first inning, and leading things off for DeLand, it'll be Eli Tidwell. In this frame, we'll at least see Tidwell batting behind him. It'll be Waz Rawlings, and batting third, it's going to be Holden Bronner. On the mound for the Sanford River Rats, it's going to be Austin Waring, 6'8", left-hander out of Florida Atlantic, and he's had a phenomenal season this summer.
Last time we saw Browner, I would just want to touch on that. He went 0 for 4, although he did advance a couple runners, so I'm interested to see how he improves upon that tonight alongside Tidwell, who of course had a single and a triple last time we played the Suns.
Yeah, but of course yesterday, I believe Tidwell had a walk, and then Bronner actually went 2 for 3, his second two-hit performance in a row, as he notched 2 doubles in that playing game against the Winter Garden Squeeze.
It's a sneaky extra base hit team for the Suns.
Yeah.
They're able to kind of show that sneaky speed when they get balls in play.
Especially for Eli Tidwell. He doesn't have a long ball yet, but this is Chopper fielded by the third baseman. Throw on over to first base is in time. That is a great play from Stuart Puckett right there at third base.
And you've seen him get more comfortable at third base. Ever since Dawson Harmon left and they moved Drake Harmon around, Stuart Puckett has found a home at the hot corner. I mean, his defense has lightened up. He made a couple errors when he first started there, but now it seems like he's been locked down. Alongside, paired with Brayden Calise, that's a tough left side to hit to.
100%. Stuart Puckett made some great plays last night. Again, it was that Rats defense that honestly made all the difference. You can talk about those 15 strikeouts, but even when the Suns got on base, I mean, you look at Anthony Saliba, he backpicked the guy at second base, which is just absolutely bananas. You don't see that type of play that often.
Anthony Saliba not in the lineup today. He's resting for the potential Game 3, and if not, looking for another day of rest just to get through the week, ready for finals time.
Waz Rawlings starts his first plate appearance, ahead 2-0.
And on the 2-0 count, you know, we've seen a lot of good composure from Waring this game as opposed to some of his other starts. He has become more disciplined, and you look at his pitch sequencing.
Waz makes contact on this one, shot straight towards Waring. He fields it on the hop. A little flip on over to first base, and that's 2 quick outs for Austin Waring out there on the mound.
I was just about to say, he is so much more comfortable now pitching just to the defense, trusting his defense and letting the defense do the work instead of, you know, hitting velocity, trying to paint corners and get the strikeouts, which results in walks and ultimately results in runs.
Maybe even a hit on like that, Waring kept his composure and just took a little stroll over to first base to minimize any error that may happen. But with 2 outs, it will be Holden Bronner for the DeLand Suns. Bronner 2 for 3 yesterday. First pitch to him, outside for ball number 1.
And we are seeing that great velocity out of Waring that we've seen a lot of this season. Looking to keep it under control. And for Browner, he's faced Waring before. He's faced this Rats defense before. And like you said, a couple extra base hits.
Bronner to the left side, and it's a misplay by Puckett. So we'll see how that's scored. But the Suns have a 2-out base runner, as it looked like it went under the glove of Puckett. But all depending on how it's scored, and that's scored as a hit.
Yeah, it's sneaky right through that kind of gap. Puckett was on the run, so Calise wasn't giving his effort towards that ball. He was there to back it up. Right through the gap, Puckett overrunning it. That's a tough play to make as a third baseman, and even tougher when you can't come up with it.
100%. I have no issue with that call, but with the 1-out single, it'll be Gavin Thomas up to bat. Thomas, ever so dangerous. 6 home runs this season. That's good enough for the league lead in the regular season. First pitch to him, swung on, fouled back. Thomas has homered twice in this ballpark last season. 3 times. It was 3 times here and 3 times in Leesburg. Twice to left field and 1 opposite field, as it almost bounced off that really big scoreboard and right.
And it's so tough to hit home runs here. The biggest ballpark in, you know, the calendar, 392 dead center. It is shorter than Sanford, 320 to the corners, but no doubt a tough ballpark to hit him out of.
Yeah. Again, this game did start late due to the weather, and the wind was blowing hard to left field, but now that's calmed down. No wind tonight, or at least as of yet, but Thomas is behind 0-2, Waring deals, and this is shot straight towards Calise. He's just going to flip it on over to second base to collect the force out, and that's out number 3. So despite the 2-out single, Austin Waring is able to induce contact to Brayden Calise to get them out of this one. Rats lead 1-0 as we head to the top of the 2nd inning. Welcome back to Melching Field here at Conrad Park here at Stetson University. Leading things off for the River Rats in the second, it's going to be the X-Man, Xavier Lopez, up to bat.
Xavier Lopez, another guy who had a pretty nice regular season. He was out for a little bit with a hip injury, now back. Had a home run, one home run of the season, I should say, against Winter Park. Xavier Lopez has been a key asset to the Rats lineup. He's also been pretty versatile. Able to fill in at first base when we saw that injury to Bruno Schaefer. Now taking over duties back in the outfield. That's where he feels more comfortable.
First two pitches to him miss. Xavier Lopez was part of that interesting seventh inning. Came around the score. Actually was the first player that was hit by a pitch to lead off the inning. Spiker followed with another hit by pitch. It was Saliba who laid down the sac bunt. Misplay by the DeLand pitcher. It was a throw wide right of first. So both those runners ended up scoring on the misplay and Saliba reached third. But 2-1 count on him. Breaking ball misses, so favorable hitter's count for Lopez.
And you look at Lopez, he's looking for a pitch that's kind of low and in. He likes to be able to pull him and kind of rip him down the line. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a little selective with that outside half of the zone.
So Wirt deals 3-1. Lopez fouls this one back. Logan Wirt, 6-foot righty out of Bethune-Cookman. Had a pretty okay season, 5.75 ERA and 8 games appeared in. This is going to be his 6th start if we're counting them all together. 20 and a third innings pitched, 22 strikeouts, 12 walks, and 18 hits allowed. Payoff pitch to Lopez, and it's up high, so it's a leadoff walk, second one in a row for the Sanford River Rats.
Yeah, like I said at the pregame show, that is kind of the name of the game for the Rats right now. Get guys on base early, the hits will come, but as long as you're keeping guys rotating on base, the runs will score.
And with that, it also eats into Wirt's pitch count here. So we'll see how Coach Cameron Jurgens utilizes his bullpen, especially if the starter gets into trouble.
And now this is an interesting matchup. Logan Wirt facing Daniel Spiker. Wirt nailed Spiker with a pitch in the head last time the Suns faced them. The DeLand Suns were also the team that Spiker, of course, got that injury on that put him out for most of June. And to see him back here facing the Suns, he hasn't seen a lot of playing time. However, it is sort of a revenge story for him.
Yeah, and Spiker does get revenge as that goes through the left side for a single. Lopez moves on over to second base, and Spiker has himself a single in this one.
And just like that, the Rats keep hitting, and we talk about how aggressive they have been at the start of these games. And that aggression has just been ramping up as the season continues on. And now in the postseason, the aggression's even higher.
So the Sanford River Rats replicating what they did last inning. They were able to put 2 on after a leadoff walk and a single to follow. So with that, it's going to be Trey Babbitt. Babbitt at catcher today. First pitch to him misses high for ball number 1. After Babbitt, it'll be Santana, and if it gets there, it'll be Cameron King, wrapping things up for the River Rats order. The 1-0 to the catcher, up high again, so it'll be 2-0 count on him.
And Babbitt, with such a short stature, obviously not the tallest guy on the team, able to draw a lot more walks and see a lot more pitches just because they're trying to pitch him low, but the strike zone doesn't necessarily change on Babbitt, so they're trying to throw him low. Can't get him to chase, that's just going to go in as a ball. They're trying to throw him high, that's high and inside, or potential to hit him. So it's really hard to pitch to a player who's this small, especially when you're Wirt, who is a little bit taller, and you have the boost from the mound.
Joshua Valente having a conversation, but he's going to head to his position behind the plate. Wirt is 2 balls behind Babbitt right now, and if he does end up walking him or Babbitt reaches base on a hit or any other means, that would load the bases. Next deal by Wirt misses high again, so 3-0 count. Wirt really struggling here against him.
3 straight balls for Wirt. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to a more confident pitch in his arsenal, maybe a fastball, take a little speed off of it, keep the accuracy up, and just find the zone.
3-0. It's in there for strike number 1. Yeah, did go to that fastball right there, 2-notch strike. We'll see how Babbitt approaches this one with a 3-1 count.
3-1, he's looking green light. Trying to just put one behind the runners, get one in the gap, or at least move one runner over to third base.
3-1 misses outside. It was a fastball again, but unable to get the call. So now the bases are loaded. No outs here. It looks like there's movement in the DeLand bullpen. And before this one, I was interested to see how both these pitching staffs match up, because you look at Logan Wirt, his special stuff is his changeup and his breaking ball. And correct me if I'm wrong, Christian, but you look at the Sanford River Rats pitching staff, and I would define them as flamethrowers. I mean, you saw Waring right there throwing absolute heat. Yesterday, Bosenhart struck out 8 in that outing. We look at the DeLand Suns. I think they try to move the ball around a little more, use the breaking ball and the off-speed stuff to catch the batters off guard.
Yeah, flamethrowers is a good way to put it. However, they're like snipers without a scope. They have the speed, but sometimes those walk issues can really plague them, especially later in games when they make calls to the bullpen. Some of those relievers, although fast, may not have the control right away.
So out comes Carson Walden to have a conversation with Logan. Logan missed the Santana for the 5th ball in a row. Carson Walden, the first base coach for the DeLand Suns, and with Mike Powers in the bullpen, helping out the guys out there. He's, at least as of recently, has talked to the guys on the mound when they've been struggling. But excuse me, I interrupted.
No, absolutely. I just want to say Paul Janetsko is actually up in the bullpen. He's getting warm. He was slated to start this game, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't start the game. They gave the start to Wirt. Maybe extra warm-up time just to get Paul kind of fired up.
So I did talk to Coach Cameron Jurgens actually before that, because I mean, as this is a series against the Sanford River Rats, you would want Paul Janetsko, who's just been absolutely phenomenal out there on the mound. But with the way the River Rats bat and how they're able to get runners on, Coach Cameron Jurgens saw him more fit to be a high leverage reliever. How we saw him in the beginning of the season. Remember, Janetsko started coming out of the bullpen, and it wasn't until the DeLand Suns had some pitching troubles midway through the season, especially during that 11-game losing streak, that Janetsko saw starting time, but here in the playoffs used as a high leverage reliever. And with him already up, we might see him also be a high leverage long distance reliever as well. But we'll resume play. It's a 1-0 count on Santana. The bases are loaded right now, no outs. Rats up by 1, and the next pitch misses. That is 6 balls in a row for Logan Wirt.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you told him, hey, that leash is running short. You know, Janetsko's coming, and you know that's kind of the inevitable, but it's just a matter of when.
The 2-0 in there for strike number 1.
Good pitch to get the strike on. Just, again, going back to that fastball, you know it's his most confident pitch, and he knows that he can find the zone with it. Stick to what you know. Maybe stay away from the breaking stuff. Just get yourself out of this inning.
Exactly. You just want to limit the damage here. You already have 1 score in the first, but that misses high again, 3-1.
Another 3-1 count.
So with a 3-1 count, there's nowhere to put Santana as the bases are loaded. It's Lopez at third, Spiker at second, and Babbitt at first base. Behind Santana, it is Cameron King, the 10-hole hitter for the Sanford River Rats.
The past 2 3-1 counts have ended up in walks.
3-1 with the bases loaded, and that is in there for strike number 2. Santana tried selling it for ball 4, but instead the home plate umpire makes him come back to the batter's box, and we'll do a full count here.
And I would like to extend on that stat. All 3-2 counts have also ended in walks.
3-2, fouled back, so we'll do it again.
Yeah, he is making Wirt really fight here, which is not ideal for Wirt either, because with the bases loaded, he still has not recorded an out. So you think he gets through Santana, but he is worn out. He's got to face the top of the order. He goes to King and then back to Mock.
Yeah, and if even Wirt gets out of this one, it's 36 pitches thrown. Next one, swung on and missed, so he strikes out Santana. Good on him to recover after loading the bases, but still a lot of work to be done if he wants to get out of this frame unscathed. With the strikeout, it's Cameron King who comes up to bat. Yesterday, King went 2 for 4 with an RBI, so pretty solid day offensively, and looking to do some more damage in this one.
King has had a couple great days offensively, although the bat.
King makes contact on the first pitch. That's sent to right field. It might be deep enough, and it is as Lopez tags up. Spiker tags up. Throw to the plate is not in time, as it's just a little too far of a stretch for Valente. So with the sac fly, the Sanford River Rats score their second run of the game. Both runs have scored off the sac fly.
Yeah, back-to-back sack fly RBIs. That is just the way the Rats like to do it. I was just talking about how Cameron King has fit into the scheme of the Rats so perfectly. He's been such a small ball guy, able to lay down bunts, run out some singles, also able to get balls deep enough in play to score a run.
And here comes Coach Cameron Jurgens. He points to the bullpen, so it'll be Logan Wirtz's day is done, and we have to assume that Paul Janesco is coming out and an absolute high leverage reliever in Janesco. And you have to imagine with the MVP favorite Dawson Mock coming up to bat, it is a matter of, excuse me, I forget the word, slipped my mind, but matchups, the matter of matchups.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we saw them walk Mock last night. Obviously, that was a pretty pivotal moment in the game. I do want to bring up the fact that Mock may be a scary batter, but it's not that the Suns can't take him. Mock is, very good at ruining pitchers' nights in the sense of he could really drag out these at-bats. However, his one Achilles heel is that he's going to watch a lot of pitches that may be close. He has that discipline, but you got to be able to work the strike zone a little bit with your catcher, and that's going to be the key for Janesco to get Mock out here.
And you actually look at last night's performance from Mock, at least on the hitting side, they kept him quiet. He was 0 for 3 on the day, but he did score twice as he reached base on a ground out and the intentional pass as well, and with Brayden Calise bringing him in the 7th. But it's a new arm as Paul Janesco takes over on the mound, and we'll tell you all about him when we come back. So Paul Janesco takes things over on the mound, and he had a pretty eventful summer. He had a 2-2 record in 11 games, started 3 of them, so mainly saw him as a bullpen arm, but in that latter half of the season, we saw him as a starter. 3.03 ERA and 29 2/3 innings pitched, 25 strikeouts, 17 walks issued, and 21 hits allowed. He was also an all-star for the DeLand Suns. First pitch to Dawson Mock is a great breaking ball as he swings and misses on that one for strike number 1.
Recorded a strikeout in that All-Star game as well, through 1 inning, of course, but nonetheless, to pitch against that talent and still record a strikeout against a variety of teams is no easy feat.
The 0-1 to Mock, and he shows bunt, but the bunt goes foul, so it'll be an 0-2 count on him. Wouldn't imagine Mock laying down a bunt again with a 2-strike count.
2 outs, or excuse me, 1 out to play with, I should say. There's 2 outs on the board. The Rats are pulling out some aggressive maneuvers to just try and keep these runs flowing. It's important for the Rats to strike first, so that way they don't have to play catch-up against the Suns.
Rats have runners on the corners, and it's the MVP favorite at the bat.
Yeah, Trey Babbitt will take second base almost scot-free. Nobody was there to cover, and he was able to just move over.
If you're here, Janesco, all you want to focus on is Mock, prevent him from reaching, because yes, you do prevent those runs from scoring, but if Mock reaches, he absolutely wreaks havoc on that base path. The 1-2 pitch to him misses outside, so it's Deuces Wild on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
This is where Mock seems to be the most comfortable this season. He's able to wait for that pitch and make it a 3-2 and draw the walk, or he's looking for a 2-2 fastball that he can kind of rope into right field and get down the line.
So we'll see if Janesco deals the fastball. 2-2 pitch. It's there as he makes contact on this one. That's sent to deep right field, but Holden Bronner is there to field it for out number 3. But the Rats do bring one more across after loading the bases here in the second. They are now up 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Suns have the second inning, and they have some work to do as they're down by 2 in the early going. Leading things off for them, it'll be Holden Bronner. Bronner recorded the final out of last inning, and Waring is back up for his second inning of work. Favorable lefty on lefty matchup for the pitcher here. First pitch to Bronner, inside for ball number 1.
Early speedy stuff from Waring, although you look at where Burnett is in the box, a little inside. He's going to have to force Waring to throw a little more outside here.
1-0, misses inside and low again.
And that is the key to these, you know, same throwing arm or same sided matchups, is to just force the guy to throw you inside.
2 balls, no strikes. Waring delivers. Misses inside again, so Waring falls behind 3-0 to Holden Bronner, the leadoff man. Or, excuse me, it's Kevin Brunette. Bronner is the 3-hole hitter. I do apologize for that. Brunette is the first baseman for DeLand Suns today. But regardless, 3-0 to Kevin Brunette. Missed again, but this time outside. So it's a 4-pitch walk to get for the Suns to get things going here in the second.
Back-to-back first pitch walks, or excuse me, leadoff walks that we've seen from both these teams. It was back-to-back for the Rats. It's now a leadoff walk for the DeLand Suns.
And that's really what you have to do here, especially against these River Rats. Put the pressure on early, because they're able to do stuff. They're able to shut things down even with runners on, but as long as you put that pressure, something might be possible. Michael O'Brien swings on the first pitch he sees and misses for strike number 1. After O'Brien, it'll be Shane Thomas, and if it reaches Connor O'Sullivan, we'll see him too. 0-1 to O'Brien. It's in there, strike number 2. So after 4 consecutive balls, it's 2 consecutive strikes for Austin Waring out there on the mound.
And, you know, for Waring, you know, as a pitcher, sometimes you're going to have bad at-bats. It's like they say, some days you're bogey, some days you're par. Some at-bats, you're going to just walk them on 4 straight. Some at-bats, you're going to punch them out on 3 straight. It doesn't necessarily say anything about you as a pitcher. It just goes back to how you deal with your sequencing and how you deal with your headspace when you're in that position.
missed on the last pitch to O'Brien, so it's 1-2 on him. Runner on first base. He deals, makes contact on this one. That shot straight towards the middle, and it's fielded by Daniel Spiker, but unfortunately unable to keep it in his glove, so that will be a single for Michael O'Brien, and he keeps the line moving. Kevin Brunette moves on over to second base, and it's going to be Shane Thomas to work with something here with a runner in scoring position.
Almost identical to what we saw out of Stuart Puckett an inning ago. I will note he had Brayden Calise running in front of him, and he loses sight of that ball for a good half a second, maybe 1 second. So to have your view clear and to see that ball coming at you and able to block it like that's good for Spiker. However, for the Suns, it is outstanding for them because they've, gotten guys on base in very small ways.
Lays down a bunt, so both runners will reach scoring position, and Shane Thomas is thrown out, but good sacrifice right there to put runners at second and third.
And just like that, the Suns are using the Rats' tactics against them.
And yesterday we saw, I believe it was 5 Suns reach scoring position, but only one of them reached third base. That's a testament to that River Rats pitching and defense. But here we are in the second, and the Suns have their first run only 90 feet away, and it's going to be Connor O'Sullivan up to bat now.
And don't ignore the tying run there, sitting at second base. A nice double could easily make this a different ball game.
Nice double, or just a well-hit ball to right field. We do see Xavier Lopez playing a little deeper there. So anything in front of him, as O'Brien has good speed at second base. 0-1-2 O'Sullivan is down low. Brunette stays at third base. Wise decision there, as it was only a slow roller.
And this is going to determine whether Waring is going to have a good night or a bad night. It's no doubt the hardest situation he's found himself in so far this game. Runners on second and third. If he can get the strikeout and even get out of this inning, you can see some nice longevity out of him.
Next pitch from Waring is in there low for strike number 2. Waring did see DeLand in that series last week. A week ago to the day, he pitched an inning, didn't allow any hits or a walk, and struck out 2 in that outing. O'Brien at second, Brunette at third. Suns with a good chance to answer back here. Connor O'Sullivan takes the 1-2 pitch, so it's 2-2 on him.
Crucial pitch for Waring here.
O'Sullivan did hit that home run at Sanford, so he does have power. But the 2-2 swung on, and this is sent towards left field, and it will not be fielded, so Kevin Brunette scores on it. It landed in just shallow left field, so Cameron King was able to get to it easily and keep the tying run of Michael O'Brien at second base.
Yeah, just like that, the Suns hit the board and dropping right in front of Cameron King. It's a ball that he could probably lay out for, but with one out, you don't want to lay out for it and potentially have it go behind you. So good baseball IQ from Cameron King, but also great stuff from DeLand. They get on the board early and kind of keep up with the Rats. A one-run ball game now. In scoring position still with a guy on second base and 2 outs to play around with.
Yeah, you are right. As both runners go, and the ball will get past Babbitt, so it's actually going to be a foul ball, so both runners will be forced to return to their positions. But as you're saying, that is a great point that you bring up, because if King lays out and worst case scenario happens, the ball gets past them, it's now a tie ball game. Instead, you keep O'Brien at second base and still 1 out with a double play opportunity in play now. But it's going to be 0-1 to Joshua Valente, the catcher. The pitch swung on and missed, strike number 2. Good fastball from Waring right there, as he has the batter behind after the RBI single. The 0-2 to Valente, tying run at second base. Deals, swung on, fouled, so we'll do it again.
Yeah, caught just a little bit of a piece of that. You hear it slam off of home plate, and he's lucky that he didn't make contact with that, because that would have been a nice little chopper ground ball. Kind of could have been played anywhere from the looks of it.
Yeah, and if the Suns keep the line moving, with O'Sullivan representing the go-ahead run at first base, a rally can put them ahead here and give Janesco a chance.
You see Daniel Spiker playing right behind the bag, just toying around with the runner at second.
The 0-2 is swung on and missed, so that's going to be a strikeout for Austin Waring there. Suns do have one more out as Osman Melendez, the 10-hole hitter, steps up to the plate.
And it's so rare that you have so many key at-bats come so early in the game, especially when you're a pitcher. And for Waring, this is another one of those key at-bats.
And this is good on the DeLand Suns to at least answer back for that run in the second. We see the River Rats, they like to score early as well. And we saw that yesterday, but of course they blew things up in the 7th and 8th inning. DeLand Suns, we saw them more favor the later innings to start scoring. So good on them to at least answer back here. And already showing improvement from yesterday as they weren't able to bring any across, and they bring one across here in the second. 1-0 to Osman Melendez, and Waring steps off to keep O'Brien honest.
Just trying to keep the guys on the right side of the diamond. You move that guy 90 feet away, it only takes a bloop single. And for him right now, he's just trying to keep that guy at second base and get the strikeout.
O'Brien goes. Both runners will go. Actually throw on over to second. Is up high, so O'Brien will try to stake home base. And he is caught as O'Brien is put out by Trey Babbitt. What a throw from Dawson Mock there in center field.
Dawson Mock doing MVP things. I keep pounding it into everybody. Look, this guy is one to watch. Out from center field, that throw was outstanding, and from the slide, a little outside on the bag. I think if he brought a little more inside, he may have caught the corner, but man, what a tight play.
Yeah, and Trey Babbitt makes up for the high throw, applying that tag to Michael O'Brien, but what a throw from Dawson Mock. The double steal bites the Suns as the tying run is tagged out at home, but they were able to bring one across in the frame, so we go to the top of the third inning. Rats still up 2-1. So after the Suns put one up in the second, it's going to be Brayden Calise who leads things off to start the third off.
Last time he was up singled. Back in the first inning, that moved some runners into scoring position, ultimately scored by Puckett on that sac fly. That's how we got here.
First pitch from Janesco is in there for strike number one. Brayden Calise made the Suns pay yesterday after they intentionally walked Dawson Mock. Saliba was at third base, and Coach Cameron Driggins didn't want to face him. Decided to elect to go with Calise and try on the righty-on-righty matchup. But instead, Mock steals second. Calise notches a single to left field for 2 RBIs, but Calise falls behind here as it's a 1-2 count on him.
Calise swinging like it's the home run derby here. Very aggressive, very eager to get another hit and not fall 1 for 2. But also, he has been one of the main guys who gets on base early for the Rats. Was in that leadoff spot for so long, kind of flipped around between Mock and Calise. And we saw Cameron King up there for a little bit. Calise is very good at getting on base and dragging out at-bats at the same time and running up pitch counts.
Yeah, a lot of traffic on the base pass for the River Rats. They've already had 5 reach base in this contest. The 2-2 from Janesco. Swung on and missed. Calise chases for strike number 3.
And a rare chase at that from Brayden Calise, who will walk back to the dugout. You look at Calise's whole season and you see a ton of strikeouts, but they're not on pitches like that. A lot of them are close pitches that maybe he was watching for a ball or maybe just swinging at a little close to the zone, couldn't get the barrel on it.
Yeah, and Calise batted over 400, so I think when you're putting up numbers like that, you can excuse the strikeout a little
Absolutely.
bit. But with the strikeout, it'll be Stuart Puckett up to bat. Favorable matchup for him here as Janesco's a righty, and he bats from the left side of home plate. First pitch misses to him. Here's the next one. 1-0. Swung on, missed. Looked like a foul tip, so it'll be a 1-1 count on him.
Indeed, a foul tip. Puckett again coming in swinging very early on the 1-1 now.
So the 1-1 swung on him. This is great contact made in right center field. That will land for a 1-out single for Stuart Puckett.
Well, he scored a run last time up. This time he is able to produce a base runner.
Now batting, first baseman, number 16, Jake Mueller.
I will say, I'll never, that sound of the ball coming off the wooden bat never gets old here. And
Never.
Christian, I'm going to be honest, in all my days doing broadcasts here at Melching Field, I never thought to open the window until you showed up.
Yeah, it's an old broadcaster's trick, you know, just go to kind of hear what's going on the field and makes you feel less like a zoo animal.
So with the single, it'll be Mueller up to bat. First pitch to him is in there for strike number 1. Mueller struck out last time he was up, struck out looking.
I'm glad I was able to teach you something this summer.
I appreciate it.
We all learn our own things here.
The 0-1, Puckett stands at first base. Throw on over to first.
And the throw over to first base on Puckett, he's not a guy who usually takes a lot of bags, but he does have that speed. You see Anthony Saliba down there coaching up Puckett, both former USF teammates. There's definitely some chemistry there.
That next pitch is inside, so it's once across the board, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
But you have to wonder if there's any friendly banter going on. You know, Saliba's telling him, I don't think you could do it. I don't think you'd take second. And Puckett's like, I bet I can. I bet I can. These guys are all roommates. They all drive to the games together. So I can only imagine the kind of stuff being said to Puckett at first.
1-1. This is sent sky high and looks like an easy enough play for Gavin Thomas. And it is as he brings it in for out number 2. I will say that's a very funny thing that I've noticed from the River Rats, at least recently, because you do have Saliba taking first base duties over there, and I believe what it was
Nico Halkis and
yeah.
Bozenhard have also been kind of rotating around in there. It's part of our new program. It's our developmental series.
First pitch to Ruocco. And actually, it's not a pitch as he picks off, or tries to pick off Puckett.
Yeah, again, trying to throw out Puckett. Standing aboard first base. Although he looks eager to go, and there he goes.
Puckett does go this time. Throw on over to second is up high. Osman Melendez tried to bring it down, applies the tag, but he's called safe.
Big slide from Stuart Puckett going into second base. Almost looks like he overslid the bag. He actually did overslide the bag. But luckily for him, Melendez had to jump up and grab that throw down from the catcher. He was able to sneak under it.
Kind of imagining after all those pickoff attempts by Janesco, Stuart Puckett said, hey, if you want me to go, I'll go. And was able to swipe it back there and put a runner in scoring position for the River Rats, but the 1-0 is in there for strike number 1. Ruocco struck out last time he was up. In the first was the last out of that frame. The 1-1. Ooh, plunks him, so he's just going to walk on over to first base.
It's a hard place to get hit by a pitch right between the shoulders. This one a little more towards the neck. Obviously thankful to see him walk it off, but that is another Rats batter we've seen hit from a Suns pitcher in some tough spots.
There were 2 hit by pitches yesterday. That's what led to the big 7th inning, as it was Lopez and Spiker who were hit.
Right fielder,
Lopez was hit on the first pitch. Spiker worked a 2-2 count and was eventually plunked. And then it was Anthony Saliba who laid down the bunt and with a wild throw to first base scored both those guys. So with the hit by pitch, it'll be Xavier Lopez. Lopez reached on a walk and came around to score last time he was up in the second. First pitch to him outside for ball number 1.
Valente did a good job of keeping that in front of him. It's not a deep backstop here in DeLand, although it can get away from them very easily. So you want Valente to be able to reach out and make those catches so no runners advance.
They do also have the advantage that it is a concrete backstop there, so balls that are able to reach it just easily bounce off and make it at least a little easier for the catcher to field it.
You look at that breaking pitch that Lopez just swung at, right in his wheelhouse. Unfortunately for him, broke right into the dirt.
Jesko takes a second to reapply the rosin to his hand, but he gets set. 2 runners on for the Sanford River Rats with 2 outs. 1-1 to Lopez, up high again for ball number 2. Jesko missing in that upper left side of the strike zone, at least as recent as he plunked Rucco. The 2-1 in there, strike number 2.
Little tight on Lopez. You saw him tense up. Maybe thought it was a two-seamer that was going to break inside on him. But he quickly falls into a dangerous count.
Deuces are wild on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. The Rats have 2 runs on the board. Jesko deals. Very vocal pitch, but just misses up high.
Now the count runs full again on Lopez. He walked last time in the full count.
So with 3-2, the runners will be in motion on the pitch. Payoff, swung on, fouled back. We'll do it again.
Not his pitch. You saw him shake his head when he swung at that ball. Luckily, he was able to make contact.
Yeah, just keep himself alive in that one. Rats only up by 2. We've seen a lot of traffic on the base pass, but DeLand has at least been able to keep themselves in it. Still a lot of baseball to be played. We are playing a full 9. Runners at first and second. Payoff pitch again. And is in there for strike number 3. So Paul Jesko strikes Xavier Lopez out looking the strand 2. And it's going to be their half of the 3rd inning when we come right back. Rats up 2-1. Suns are bending the 3rd, and it'll be Osman Melendez to get things started here. Stepped up last frame, but with the put out at home plate, he'll restart his at-bat here in the 3rd. Waring out there for his 3rd inning of work. First pitch to Melendez is inside for ball number 1.
Waring suffering some later control issues.
Waring only at 32 pitches, so semi-efficient. Melendez puts good contact on this one, but it's fielded by Calise. Throw on over to first is high, so it's going to be an E6, and Osman Melendez reaches.
There was a lot of power behind that from Calise. It was a hard throw, no doubt. Probably looked like 90 miles an hour, maybe across the diamond. However, for him, it looks like Mueller just wasn't expecting it, and it was a little high anyways.
Yeah, it was an absolute rocket from Brayden Calise, just maybe miscalculated on the landing coordinates. But with that, it'll be Eli Tidwell as the Suns lineup flips over. Tidwell last time grounded out. First pitch from Waring, swung on. This is a hard hit ball. That'll land in right field. That moves Melendez to second base, and Eli Tidwell has a single in this one.
The DeLand Suns are really keeping the pressure on the Sanford River Rats. And as, you know, Waring looks to get out of this inning, the Suns are really looking to put a pounding on him.
And with that single, there is someone getting up in the River Rats bullpen, so we'll see who it is. Or maybe not, as it looked like he walked behind that.
There's a few guys up and stretching in there.
2 runners on, corner infielders playing in. William Rawlings up the bat, grounded out last time, hit straight towards, he shows bunt. And that's strike number 1. Rawlings hit straight towards Waring last time. Waring was able to just casually walk on over to first base and toss it to Mueller for the out. Saw a couple balls hit through the middle, forced that first one straight towards Waring, and then I believe it was O'Brien who hit towards the middle. Looked like a pickoff attempt to Melendez, or at least trying to put him back at second base. William Rawlings, he's showing bunt again, corner infielders in. And both runners go, and it's going to be a successful double steal there. I don't know what Babbitt was seeing, but there was no attempt from him there to at least try to get one of those runners out, but it was also a difficult throw to third as it's a right-handed batter.
Yeah, now the runners move into scoring position, like you said, both of them now. Very dangerous and delicate situation for Waring. For Trey Babbitt, he had Rawlings in his field of view when he went to go make that throw.
Rawlings makes contact on this one. That's hit straight towards Calise. Only play he has is at first, and the DeLand Suns have tied it here in the third with the RBI ground out.
Just like that, the Suns able to keep the pressure on and make the Rats crack. 2-2 your score now, and we are only in the third inning. It is really a high-stakes game. The Rats do not want to play tomorrow if they don't have to, and, you know, that could be it for their season, although the team has, you know, built a masterpiece. If they go to Game 3, one bad night could be it for them.
Yeah, the Rats do have the series lead right now, but you don't want to get comfortable here. Again, so crucial if you win today. You do get an off day before, an extra off day, I should say, before the championship series. But if you're the DeLand Suns, you're going to kick and claw and do whatever it takes to keep your dreams alive. But it's also amazing to see how far the DeLand Suns have come. They had an 11-game losing streak earlier this season. They were able to string together some wins and notch the 4 seed. They beat the Winter Garden Squeeze in the playing game. And now it's a David versus Goliath series as they face the Sanford River Rats.
That one-game play-in, too, also fueled with a lot of drama. Very big ending against the Squeeze, ultimately knocking them out of the Florida Collegiate Summer League playoffs.
Yes, the Suns were down 2-1 going into the 8th inning. Holden Bronner makes contact on this one, but it's fielded high in the infield, and it'll be Stuart Puckett who gets the out. So 2 outs here. Still runners at first and second, or excuse me, only a runner at second for DeLand.
And that was a risky play, too, for the Sanford River Rats. You have Puckett, Calise, and Waring. Spiker hanging out in the background, all coming in that ball. All along, you think, all right, Waring's got that, but Puckett sneaking in front. That is almost an easy drop ball.
So with a runner in scoring position, it's the ever-dangerous Gavin Thomas. Favorable matchup for him here. First pitch is outside and low for ball number 1. Waring at 40 pitches here. 2/3 innings pitched. 24 strikeouts compared to 17 balls. 1-0 pitch to Thomas. Swung on, and this is sent foul.
sky high into the stands. It actually might be out into the parking lot there.
I didn't see it land, to be honest with you.
Deep into the DeLand night.
We're playing under the lights here at Melching Field. The late start. Didn't really see much sunshine. The 1-1 to Thomas. He takes it. It's going to be ball number 2 on him. No one more warming up in the River Rats bullpen, so they're trusting that Waring gets himself out of this one. Still a tie ball game here, but Suns with a chance to take the lead for the first time in this contest.
On a 2-1 count. Big pitch for Waring.
2-1 to Thomas. Swung on, missed, so it'll be deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Trying to limit the damage and get out of this inning before things get really out of hand. He does have those 2 outs, but another single may potentially score a run and break this game open for the Suns to take the lead.
If Thomas reaches, it's Kevin Brunet in the on-deck circle. But we'll see what Waring does here. He delivers on the 2-2, swung on, and this is fouled, so Thomas stays alive.
Way, 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 way high again.
We also see Coach Cameron Jurgens at third base today. And he took over duties from Sean McArdle. McArdle handles bench coach duties now, but after that I saw the DeLand Suns be a little more aggressive on the base pass, and here they are with already 2 stolen bases in this one. The 2-2 to Thomas again, swung on, and this is fouled to the right side, so Thomas alternating on the foul balls.
Well, this seems like Waring's worst nightmare, just dragged out at-bats. You know that he's been struggling with command this game, and the hit bug is starting to also plague him. He wants to close out these at-bats as early as he can, but if you're Thomas, you are wanting to drag this out as long as you want, sitting in the sweet spot.
7th pitch of the at-bat coming right up, and Thomas takes that one, so it'll be a full count, and we'll expect Tidwell to be running on this one. And yeah, as that at-bat drags on, Thomas gets a better read on Waring's pitches.
And now on the 3-2, again, a situation that Waring does not want to find himself in with a runner in scoring position.
3-2, 8th pitch of the at-bat coming right up. Runner goes, or excuse me not, and Thomas strikes out, so Waring gets out of this one. The DeLand Suns do tie it in this one, though, as William Rawlings scores Oswin Melendez on the RBI groundout after Melendez reached on the misplay by Brayden Calise. But it's 2-2, and we have a brand new ball game as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Welcome to the top of the 4th inning. It's a brand new ball game as the DeLand Suns tied it up in the bottom of the 3rd. So leading things off for the Sanford River Rats will be Daniel Spiker. Spiker had a single last time he was up and came around to score.
Head coach Jesse Litch looking to limit how many people are throwing in this series. Nobody in the bullpen right now who's throwing. You got a couple guys stretching around. For now, his faith sits in Waring's hands.
Janesco back out on the mound, an inning and a third pitched. Spiker makes contact on this one, but it's unable to get past the third base bag, so it'll be called foul.
Daniel Spiker, last time up, was able to single and advance a runner.
Yeah, he did not score. I do apologize for that. He made it to third base, but was unable to get any further. The 1-1 from Janesco swung on, and this is hit towards Tidwell. He fields it, throwing over to first base, and that's out number 1.
Pretty routine play there for Tidwell to Burnett. Little chopper. Wasn't in a tough part either.
You know, it's been a lot of fun to see Eli Tidwell play third base. That's not his primary position. He was mainly in outfield this past season, but with some guys leaving, especially Marin LeFew, who is an absolute cornerstone there at the hot corner. LeFew got drafted by the Detroit Tigers in the 19th round, so Tidwell was forced to assume duties, but he's been doing great out there and had a great behind-the-glove field and was able to make a long throw across the diamond to first base for an out. So Tidwell, not a regular third baseman, but he looks really comfortable there. And routine ground ball for out number 1 in this one.
Coaches always have to make adjustments in the midseason. It's very rare that some of these guys will play the same position all season long. They're bound to move around, and ultimately with injuries or, like you said, even players getting drafted, they have to start to reassess their priorities and reassess people's strengths. And for Tidwell, it has worked out very nicely for him. A 1,000 fielding percentage in the postseason.
Trey Babbitt 1-2 count, and it plunks him, so Babbitt will go on over to first base. It looked like it just skimmed him, but regardless, that's going to be an HBP in the scorebook, and the River Rats have a 1-out base runner.
Back-to-back innings with a hit by pitch. Last one on Rocco, this one on Trey Babbitt. And for Santana, who is 0 for 1 so far today, a big strikeout back in the second inning. He's looking to recoup some of that debt and just get on base. Been working so hard in the cages, too, this season. Trying to grind out of this kind of roller coaster of a slump. One night he'll hit for 2 doubles and an RBI. The next night he'll go 0 for 4. Just looking to finally find some consistent momentum.
He's ahead early after the first pitch. 1-0 count on him next as he goes up 2-0. Janesco, first time we saw him, it was out of the bullpen in the series against the Winter Park Diamond Dogs. Went 4 2/3 innings pitched in that season opener, and nabbed the W as well, as that in that 4 2/3 innings of work, only allowed a hit and struck out 6.
And he has started Manny Santana 3-0. We haven't seen a lot of Santana, but we've seen this from him. When he's at bat and when he's stuck in the 3-0 count, he is drawing walks 90% of the time.
3-0 to Santana. It's in there, strike number 1.
And again, very typical in the 3-0 count, just to see a fastball down the middle set the tone for the at-bat.
So Janesco keeps himself alive in this one with the fastball. And we'll see what he does here with the 3-1 count. Favorable hitters count for Santana still. Pickoff attempt at first base, not in time, as Babbitt is able to return safely. Janesco really trying with those pickoff attempts in this one. But he'll deal to Santana 3-1, and it misses just high for ball 4.
It's a tight zone up there for all these hitters, but the pitchers also have to suffer from that. And you see it right there, a hit by pitch on Babbitt. Probably not a total victim of the zone, but that walk to Manny Santana right there, 5 pitches and the 3-1 count, no doubt just hard working the zone.
The one positive thing to take from that walk is with a runner at first and second, there is a play at any bag. It's going to be Cameron King, the 10-hole hitter. If King were to reach, the lineup flips over and we'll see Dawson Mock. First pitch to King, misses high and a little bit to the right for ball number 1. 1-0, Babbitt is at second. Santana just reached on the walk. And looks like there's movement in the DeLand bullpen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. More movement in the DeLand bullpen. Although it hasn't been a total disaster for the DeLand Suns, they were able to work it back. It has been, up and down, as Dawson Turner is up in the bullpen, the left-hander out of St. Cloud. And to look for a pitcher this, early. They just brought in Janetsko, and now he is, potentially facing being repositioned and taken out of this game.
Yeah, but at this point you are spending arms as this one is fouled off himself. But you might be spending arms, but as long as that keeps you in it, you have a chance to keep yourselves alive. And that's been the story of the DeLand Suns this whole season, is them giving themselves chances to keep themselves alive and maybe work some magic and advance through.
But you also have to play into the strategy that if the Suns win today, they have to pitch tomorrow, and it comes down to who do they pitch tomorrow if they go through everyone tonight. The Rats have a guy lined up and ready for this Game 3, and you have to wonder who did the Suns throw.
Dawson Turner did pitch on Monday in the play-in game, went an inning in a third, so after 2 off days, he is live. Should imagine that Joey Irvin might be available too, but we'll see as this game progresses. Next pitch misses will be a full count, 3-2-1 on the scoreboard, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out.
Good observations. Glad you're staying sharp for school in a couple weeks.
I am staying sharp. I'm taking algebra next year. I'm a senior in college. I'm taking algebra. Contact is made, fielded by O'Sullivan. Throw on over to second is in time. Throw to first will not be, but good on Brunette to keep it in front of him, prevent the ball from going wild, and keep the runner at third base.
Yeah, and Babbitt overran third base looking for that pass ball. It was a good effort, like you said, at first base from Burnett to just keep it in front of the bag. However, it is a mound meeting, and you think for Janetsko, his leash has either run out or about to run out.
It actually won't be a mound meeting as Coach Cameron Jurgens talks to the field umpire.
Yeah, you're right. It looked like he was heading out to Janetsko, but he's going to get walked back over the line. They walked him back to the line, which is always cool to see that umpire just kind of take dominance. And you wonder, Jurgens potentially arguing that call at second base, just saying, look, it looks like he maybe tried to interfere with the double play, and that's why that throw went wild.
We see Cameron Jurgens try to plead his case with interference a couple times this season. The field umpire seems firm in his decision, but Coach Cameron Jurgens is trying to get an answer at the very least.
And from our viewpoint, it didn't necessarily look like he was trying to intervene in that play, although the slide was a little close to the second baseman Melendez there. Did not look, vicious at all in any case.
But also in those cases, it's always going to be a close play at second.
Yeah.
And those runners are required to slide in those situations as well. And it looks like it's going to be a conversation between all 3 umpires.
Yeah, it's an umpire convention here, and now you wonder, all right, well, maybe the first base umpire saw it differently. He has that view down the line towards second base to see the slide. Maybe he saw him poke a foot out. Maybe he saw him throw a hand out, anything to kind of block that ball. It's going to be interesting to see this ruling here because it was a close play at second base and a close interference call at that.
If they do get that interference call, that would be huge for the DeLand Suns as the go-ahead run stands 90 feet away at third base. Looks like Eli Tidwell and Connor O'Sullivan are chopping it up with Jesse Litch and Babbitt.
And Melendez didn't look necessarily off balance from that throw, but you were absolutely right. In cases like this with the game so tight, you want to try and milk out everything you can get. If you even have a hint that something went wrong on a play, you were going to go out there and you're going to argue it.
So they don't call interference on that one, but with the fielder's choice, it'll be Babbitt at third. Santana was out with the force play, and Cameron King stands at first base. And the lineup flips over with Dawson Mock up to bat. Mock 0 for 1 on the day, had a walk in the first and came around to score and flew out in the second.
And King will slide over to second base just to take that play away.
Jurgens told me before the game, if you can keep Mock quiet, you have a chance of pulling a W out of this one. Pitch to Mock outside, so he pulls ahead 2-0 in the count. Don't see any action in the Sanford bullpen, so we'll assume Waring will come out for his 4th inning of work. Found himself in a little bit of trouble, but only 2 runs have come across so far, and he's been able to at least bear down and keep the game tied. 2-0 to Mock, misses high, so it's going to be 3-0.
And this has been a series of tough at-bats for Janetsko. The guy was electric at the start, able to record some outs, a strikeout, actually 2 strikeouts, both swinging and looking when he first entered the game in the 3rd inning. And now he just walked Mock on 4.
So Mock walks on 4 pitches. Not seeing any movement as of yet from the
number 2, Brayden Calise.
DeLand dugout.
And with the bases loaded for Brayden Calise, he does have that walk. And although he's not looking to walk in a run, another guy who could draw the walk, just walk in that run to break this game back open 3-2, but also has some big power. Flashback to Orlando, huge home run against the Snappers and a ginormous scoring game for both teams.
Flashback to last night, you had 2 runners in scoring position, and Calise was just able to break it wide open with an RBI, 2 RBI single.
Calise was the heartbreaker last night, and he's looking to be heartbreaker again right now.
Yeah, already 1 for 2 on the day. Had a single in the first, struck out in the third. Here he is in the fourth with his 3rd AB already. Janesco deals the 0-1, and this is shot towards the right side of the infield. Babbitt will score, and around comes King to score. Dawson Mock stays at third base, and the ball skips off the third base bag, so Dawson Mock will score. Brayden Calise advances to second base, and that is 3 runs scored for the Sanford River Rats here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, Brayden Calise pulling on the heartstrings of some DeLand Suns fans here. It's a bases-clearing double, and you look at his playoff picture and how good he's done. This guy played on a championship team a couple years ago with the Diamond Dogs, and now he's here with the Sanford River Rats playing on another championship team. This guy knows the stakes, and this guy knows exactly how to hold these situations.
Yeah, Brayden Calise playing spoiler for the DeLand Suns, and Paul Janesco's day will be done. So, Brayden Calise, 2 RBIs. Or excuse me, 3 RBIs on that one, and the misplay at third base brings in Mock. So the River Rats are now up 5-2 here in the 4th inning, and we'll tell you all about the new pitcher when we come right back. Welcome back. Brayden Calise breaks things open for the Sanford River Rats. 2 RBI single. The Dawson Mock run is going to be ruled as an error.
It's been a big inning for the Sanford River Rats. You look at where they were at just an inning ago. They were struggling to get guys off of base. Meanwhile, King, or excuse me, that's Brayden Calise,
That's
not
Brayden
Cameron
Calise.
King. But yeah, you look at where the River Rats were at just an inning ago. They were struggling to get guys off base. They were leaving a lot of guys on base. And now the 2-out rally has been exceptional for them.
Brayden Calise with the stolen base. That's the Rats' fourth stolen base of the game. Stuart Puckett takes ball number 1. But what a series of events. We saw something similar yesterday. Well, not similar, but of course run score off an error, and Dawson mock score, but both runners, Babbitt and King, scored on the single. The 1-1 to Stuart Puckett, swung on and missed. Puckett was swinging for the fences on that one, but instead that's just going to be a strike.
Yeah, big swing out of Stuart Puckett. Just trying to get the ball in play. I think he's a little amped up after that last, scenario that just unfolded before us.
Yeah, Brayden Calise, it was a tie 2-2 ball game, and with that, Rats are now up by 3 with a bases clearing base hit, and that ball misses low, so it'll be 2 balls, 2 strikes on the board.
Brayden Calise getting jumpy at third base. We haven't seen a lot of aggressive base running out of him. Of course, we see that stolen base he just had, but other than that, it really hasn't been anything crazy. Handful of stolen bases in the regular season. But look at him at third base. He is what looks like halfway down the line.
2-2, and this Puckett lines this one to right field, and that's going to get down. Brayden Calise easily scores. Puckett rounding first. He's going for second, and he will stay there at second base with a stand-up RBI double.
Deep corners here in DeLand. College corners. Nothing that Puckett is, against. He plays at USF, or played at USF, I should say. But, again, he has had so much speed and placing the hits where he needs to perfectly. Right down the line, hard hit, found the corner right away, and able to extend it. He maybe could have legged out a triple there, but smart base running just to sit at second base. That throw was not cut off. And you see that RBI to bring in Calise as well.
Rats are now up by 4 with the RBI double, and it is a new arm on the mound for DeLand. It's Dawson Turner. We've already seen him once in the playoffs as the pitch goes wild. So Puckett strolls on over to third base easily, and now he's 90 feet away from scoring and potentially making it a 7-2 ball game.
Big innings is where the Rats really pick up their momentum. You'll see them play teams, and most teams will spread it out amongst, 4, 5, 6 innings and eventually close out and maybe win 6-2. But for the Rats, they like to put the pressure when they have it and they have this momentum. They've put up a 4 spot so far in this frame, and they put up 1 and 1 back-to-back in the first and second frames. That's how they like to do it. They like to put them all in bulk and then step back and let the defense do the work.
Good breaking ball from Turner there. Gets Mueller swinging, and that next pitch misses. There is now movement in the Sanford bullpen, so we'll see if Waring comes back out for another inning of work. But things do change here as the River Rats now pull ahead by 4 runs.
Yeah, you're right. Waring now has some run support, so maybe you don't need a prime guy to come in and close out this next inning. But if you're Sanford, just looking to keep the bullpen in check.
Check swing by Mueller says he didn't go, so it'll be 3-1 count on him. Dawson Turner, a 6'7" lefty, currently undecided right now. And it looks like the home plate umpire is having a conversation with Coach Cameron Jurgens. Coach Cameron Jurgens obviously frustrated about something, and he comes out to have a conversation with them.
Yeah, now he's talking to the home plate umpire. We saw him talk to the third base umpire back for that interference call, and I'm not sure what Cameron Jurgens had seen right there that he dislikes. I don't think he's talking zone with him because the zone hasn't been outrageous for both teams. I think he's maybe just talking. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that was all about.
And
there wasn't.
And Coach Cameron Jurgens is usually a calm and collected individual as well. I've only really seen him burst out a couple times this season, but besides that, it seems he more questions than objects calls. But regardless, it's going to be a 3-1 count on Mueller. Puckett stands 90 feet away from home plate. He deals, swung on, fouled back. It'll be a full count.
Well, Turner is coming into a sticky spot here, trying to close out what Janetsko started, inheriting a runner as well, and facing some pretty tough parts of the Rats lineup.
Here's a payoff pitch from Turner. Swung on, fouled again.
Just staying alive. That is the key for Mueller right now. Keep the pressure on. Turner's new, so he's wanting to drive up that pitch count right away and really make Turner work for this out. You know you're going to see him at least one more inning. At least that is the plan for DeLand.
Yeah, DeLand, you need to be aggressive here, but also do have to play somewhat strategically as you don't want to burn through all your pitchers. But payoff pitch swung on and it's fouled again.
And speaking of burning through pitchers, there is another guy up in the DeLand bullpen, and he is tossing.
Yeah, so we'll see what Turner's leash looks like here. Turner technically has not recorded an out yet in his outing today. As the first batter he faced, Puckett, had that RBI double. The payoff pitch to Mueller again, swung on, this is hit. Wow, that was a very close ball, but it bounces just foul, but it was out of reach of Eli Tidwell. If that bounced in play, that would probably would have been an RBI double for Mueller there.
And it looks like it's Nico Halkus potentially getting, you know, just stretched up and warm in the Rats bullpen. A good relief arm for them. He's had a pretty nice season. That is going to be in the Suns' future. Right now, it is another 3-2 count pinch in the Rats' future.
Good battle between Mueller and Turner here. The 3-2 swung on, and this is sent up high. In comes Michael O'Brien. He calls for it, and he gets it for out number 3. But Brayden Calise plays spoiler with a 2 RBI base hit, and Stuart Puckett tacks on one more. It's a 4-frame for the Sanford River Rats here in the 4th. DeLand have some work to do, as it's going to be their half of the inning when we come right back. Welcome back, as it's the Suns half of the 4th, and they have some work to do after the River Rats put up 4 in their turn of the inning. Leading things off for DeLand, it'll be Kevin Burnett. Burnett walked last time and came around the score. First pitch to him is inside for ball number 1.
They will face Waring for at least one more time as we get through this lineup. In the middle of this DeLand lineup, Kevin Burnett, and then, of course, O'Brien and Shane Thomas are due up after that.
The Suns are still in this one, but you knew it was only a matter of time before Sanford put up a crooked number, and what a number they put up. 4 runs came across. Brayden Calise with 2 RBIs, Stuart Puckett with an additional 1. Dawson Monk scored on the E9. And I do understand that you want to play hero sometimes and throw a guy out from the outfield, but skipped off the bag and brought across one more.
Check swing from Kevin Burnett. Little yes, yes, no action going on. Of course, that's what they teach you in youth baseball, but for him, you really see it aggressive, almost swinging and having to pull it back before he rotates his hips.
Burnett pulls ahead 3-1. He's already walked Waring at 50 pitches. Next one from him, misses outside. So Kevin Burnett leads off again, actually. That's his second leadoff walk of the game. And DeLand do have a chance to at least chip into this River Rats lead. With that, it'll be Michael O'Brien who steps up. O'Brien, of course, was tagged out at home plate after he tried going on the missed throw by Babbitt. It was a double steal attempt. Babbitt threw on over to second and went just high of Calise's head, but good on Mock for the 8-2 putout.
The very rare 8-2 putout. We haven't seen that a ton from Dawson Mock. O'Brien did a really good job at just making sure he was down on that ball and sliding in. Unfortunately for him, he slid just a little too outside of the bag.
Pitch goes wild, so Burnett moves on over to second base. And it looks like there will be a mound visit for Austin Waring.
Yeah, Nick Goody's going to come out and just talk to him. We know that there's a guy up and going in the bullpen, that is for certain. But for Austin Waring, they want to stop the damage before it happens. They know Waring can get a little wild as they go into the later stages of a game. Once he hit about the 5th inning, I think the tank starts to run low. So for Waring, they just want to make sure that he is staying calm, cool, and collected, which he does a great job at doing.
Yeah, and you look at DeLand, it's a different story, at least from last night. Last night, DeLand didn't really do much offensively, and yeah, they're down by 4 in the 4th, but still plenty of baseball to be played here, and they're threatening to at least chip into this lead. So you are completely right, and just trying to minimize the damage here.
DeLand was able to come back once back in the 2nd inning and the 3rd inning, able to chip away.
So the meeting breaks up. Still Kevin Burnett at second base. Michael O'Brien has a 1-0 count on him. DeLand Suns are going to try to do anything and everything to pull out a W, or at least keep yourself in it. If Sanford takes the game, they go home and their summer's over. The 1-0 on O'Brien. Swung on, miss. Good high fastball by Waring there.
Working with no outs and a guy on second base.
The 1-1. O'Brien swings and misses again, so good on Waring to recover after the first pitch missed to him, and he gets 2 consecutive strikes to put O'Brien behind.
Now, whatever Nick Goody said to him, it's obviously working. That guy, of course, knows a lot about pitching, the former major leaguer, Yankees and the Cleveland Guardians. Resume kind of speaks for itself.
The 1-2 O'Brien misses, so it'll be an even 2-2 on him now. DeLand need to at least answer back in this frame to keep themselves in it and keep the momentum alive. They've scored in the previous 2 frames. We'll see if they do it again here. The 2-2 to O'Brien. Good breaking ball there, but unfortunately just misses low and inside. So it'll be a full count to Michael O'Brien.
And these are situations that Waring has to be 100% dialed in on. You walk the guy, you have 2 on, nobody out.
The full count and misses high and inside. So 2 consecutive walks for Austin Waring, and the DeLand Suns have 2 more on base. They started the last frame with 2 consecutive base runners, and of course they scored in that one, tying the game before that 4-run frame by the River Rats. We will say there's been plenty of traffic on both sides. There's yet to be a frame where no runner has reached, or a pitcher's faced a minimum, I should say a little better. And with that, Shane Thomas comes up to bat. First pitch to Thomas, outside for ball number 1. Thomas has an RBI as he's 0 for 0 on the day with the sac fly in the 2nd. That sac fly scored Brunette.
Corners coming in here. You see Puckett and Mueller both playing at the infield grass.
Thomas swings and misses on that one, so it'll be an even 1-1 count on him. Runners at first and second, 1-1 count on Shane Thomas. Waring deals, Thomas takes, and it's 2-1. A 2-1 count for number 21. Behind Thomas, it'll be Connor O'Sullivan in the on-deck circle, and if it reaches, it'll be the catcher Valente.
O'Sullivan scored a run back in the second inning with his RBI single.
The 2-1, Thomas chases and misses, so it's a 2-2 count on him. Saw some obvious frustration as he knew probably should have held off on that.
You can tell Waring that is starting to wear on him, especially these at-bats that go a little longer than I think what he's hoping for.
I know that pun wasn't intentional, but I tip my cap to you.
Oh, it was intentional. All my puns are intentional.
And he catches Thomas looking for the strikeout. Good on Waring to recover after 2 consecutive walks. And up to bat, it's now Connor O'Sullivan.
Like we said, O'Sullivan hot off that RBI single back in the second inning. Looking for RBIs number 2 and 3 right here if he can get a nice ball in play. Keep this thing alive for the Rats. He represents the run that would bring it in with 1 run. The tying run, of course, is on deck.
First pitch to him, good. Breaking ball by Waring, though, for strike number 1. 0-1 count on O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan swung a hot bat against the River Rats. Remember, he did have that home run in the last series of the regular season. Next pitch to him is taken for ball number 1. Ball does carry in Sanford, but an opposite field homer with a wood bat nonetheless is not an easy achievement to undertake.
Such a different feel for these guys. They're now starting to finally get used to these wood bats as they reach the playoffs. That's why you see a lot of that power pop up in the playoffs here in the Florida League. It's just because, you know, if you're not used to that wood bat, this may be your first season playing wood bat league in a while, maybe since high school. You know, it takes time to get adjusted to, and some guys adjust quicker than others. Look at the Rats. Didn't have a ton of home runs until just a couple weeks ago when they've now had 3 or 4.
2-1 on O'Sullivan, Burnett at second, and it's O'Brien at first, and Waring misses, so favorable hitters count for the shortstop here.
And you know Waring wants to get out of this inning under his own power. Although it may be his last, he's not wanting to get pulled out. He wants to close it out.
You do have to imagine if O'Sullivan reaches here, it'll be Waring's day, as Jesse Litch will try to contain the damage here, but the 3-1 pitch misses inside.
And yeah, you see him walking out, and that'll do it for Waring. Nico Halkus is coming into this game.
Austin Waring loads the bases off of 3 walks, so it'll be 1 out, and the bases loaded for the DeLand Suns. Out comes Jesse Litch, and Austin Waring's day is done. And we'll tell you all about the new pitcher when we come right back. Welcome back. New arm on the mound is Brady Schwartzberg for the Sanford River Rats. The Suns have the bases loaded with 1 out, and it looks like it's going to be a pinch hitter here, as it's going to be Daniel Baez pinch hitting for Joshua Valente.
Yeah, first appearance in the playoffs for Schwartzberg and for Austin Waring. He comes out with 3 strikeouts, so not a totally bad night for him, although he was plagued with some walks.
Baez has boosted all his offensive numbers in those last couple weeks of the season, and here he is in this one with a good opportunity to bring his team back in it. Bases loaded, first pitch in there for a strike, next pitch misses inside for ball number 1. It's O'Sullivan at first, O'Brien at second, and Brunette at third base. Schwartzberg deals, Baez makes contact, but that's just going to go foul.
Last time that we saw Schwartzberg, it was against DeLand on July 17th. He pitched 2 innings, faced 10 batters, 3 hits, 1 run, and only 1 strikeout. He faced Baez, who was in the leadoff spot, and he was caught stealing and struck out.
Baez swings and misses on that one. It's going to be a foul tip, but nonetheless, it's caught for the strikeout. So good on Schwartzberg to strike out the pinch hitter to keep the bases loaded, and now has the chance to get his team out of this one without any damage.
Number 17,
He faces Melendez, who is also a heavy hitter for this team. Of course, the E6 back in the 4th on Brayden Calise, who overthrew.
It's such an interesting sidearm action from Schwartzberg there. Low velo, but that ball moves around a lot. 1-0 to Melendez. Taking strike number 1. Melendez knew that was his pitch right there.
Schwartzberg hanging a breaking ball right there. That has kind of been his whole shtick this season, is that breaking pitch, especially with that sidearm kind of submarine delivery.
Melendez makes hard contact on this one. That is going to left field, but Cameron King has a beat on it and brings it in for out number 3. So Brayden Schwartzberg leaves the bases loaded. DeLand Suns unable to do anything with it as the Rats put a 0 on the board. But we head to the top of the 5th inning. Rats still up 6-2. Welcome back as the Rats are up 6-2 here at Melching Field at beautiful Conrad Park. Leading things off for the Riverettes can be Anthony Rocco. Rocco 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout and a hit by pitch.
And you look at a change in the defensive lineup for the DeLand Suns as well. It's sort of been this catcher carousel for them all season long. 7 different catchers have played as backstop, and Junia will come in as the second catcher we've seen this game for Valente.
Yeah, you saw a little difficult to find some stability in that position. Christian, you're absolutely right. We saw Janela back there, Eris Rivera, Samuel Fernandez, Ben Barrow, but he was traded to the Diamond Dogs, and the last half of the season, but Janela's provided some stability, and he has a pretty good offensive bat there. This is hit towards Tidwell, and the backhand attempt is not, as that misses, so that is a lead-off double for Anthony Rucco.
It's a tough play for the third baseman Tidwell to make. Down the line, it's taken a hopping off the bag, and he's just got to get that glove out, unfortunately for him, tipping off the edge of the leather.
Yeah, especially as a right-hander, the only play he had was with the backhand attempt, but that ball was just down the line. Well hit ball by Rucco to put a runner on for the River Rats. (6-2) ball game here, and Rats looking to tack on some more. They run-ruled the Suns yesterday, but the Suns have been able to at least manufacture base runners, and they have 2 across in this one. First pitch to the next guy, Lopez, in there for strike number 1.
Lopez still looking for a hit this game. Was walked back in the second, struck out his next time up in the third, and he's looking for something here just to make connections on. All the Rats have been swinging away. Just no contact for Lopez tonight.
The 0-1 to Lopez outside. Good on Janela to keep it in front of him.
And this would be the matchup here. The left on left. But for Turner, thrown a little more outside. Perfect for Lopez. Able to find a pitch he likes. Get it out into right field or even right center. We haven't seen a ton of opposite field power from Lopez. But with the left-handed pitcher, I wouldn't necessarily count it out.
The 1-1 from Turner. Swung on, fouled.
A hard swing from Lopez, like you see right there.
Rucco on second. Xavier Lopez with a chance to make it a 5-run ball game for the Sanford River Rats. Turner deals, runner goes, fouled, so Rucco will be forced to return to second base, and we'll do the 1-2 again.
Lopez very early on that pitch, pulled it way back out towards the away side. Still trying to make that hit and run work for the River Rats.
So the 1-2 runner in scoring position. Pitch from Turner again. In there for strike number 3. So he catches Lopez looking. That's Lopez's second strikeout looking of the day. And that'll make way for Daniel Spiker to come up and maybe work with the runner at second.
Spiker has shown he can hit here, a single back in the second inning. Although has yet to score a run, he was left on third base last time we saw him get on. Spiker has been calm at the plate.
First pitch to Spiker, and that's in there for strike number 1. Good breaking ball from Turner there.
Definitely went around, tripped up Spiker's timing a little bit. I think his arms wanted to swing and his legs said no thanks. And in his head, he's looking at that pitch that's breaking down. He thinks it's going to hang, and it drops into the other batter's box.
The 0-1 swung on. This is hit towards Tidwell. He fields it. Throw on over to first is in time. That was an interesting move by Turner there, as most guys just get on a knee. But with such a big frame, he just laid on his belly to make sure that he didn't get in the way of that one.
Yeah, taking no chances there to take one off the shoulder or the head. Just getting down and letting the throw go over. Now it's Babbitt, though. And Babbitt has been an interesting one. Was hit by a pitch and walked. He has yet to really record an at-bat.
Babbitt did come around the score in the 4th, part of that big 4-run frame. Pitch to him, runner goes. There will be no attempt at third base with the right-handed batter, and now the 7th run for the Rats is 90 feet away.
It's a stolen bag for Anthony Rocco, the first of the postseason.
And I mean, these Rats run so well. That is the 5th stolen base of the day, and looked like a wild pitch, so the runner scores on that one, and the Sanford River Rats are now up 7-2.
Yeah, aggression has been also key for the River Rats. Capitalizing on so many big mistakes, like that one right there, the wild pitch that most teams probably wouldn't have run on. It was a little close. But for the Rats, they like to take those chances, and for now, it's succeeded for them.
It is now a 5-run ball game, and that's what you can't do. You can't let the Rats get hot because they will pour it on you, and when you think you had enough, they'll pour on some more. So now they're up 7-2. Still only the 5th inning. 2 outs in this frame.
It's these 2-out rallies that the Rats have been so good on this game. Of course, scored that 4 spot back in the 4th inning on a 2-out rally, and now putting up a run with 2 away.
The 2-1 to Babbitt, taken for ball number 3. And I think there's a sense of taboo around 2 outs because you're 1 out away from getting out of it, but that's a chance right there, and you can do whatever you want. You can have 10 runs come across with 2 outs as long as you don't record it, and the Rats make good work of that. That's in there for a strike, so it'll be a full count, 2 outs. Turner with a chance to get out of this one with only 1 coming across.
Trey Babbitt, 3-2 count.
The 3-2 swung on. Babbitt shoots it through the left side, and that's a 2-out single for Trey Babbitt.
It's a sticky situation for the defense there. O'Sullivan and Tidwell are kind of split right down the middle. Tough play in a black hole in the field. And for Trey Babbitt, his first big hit of the night, he had those 2 walks like we talked about, just to get on base and keep the momentum going. But Manny Santana, another rough night at the plate.
Santana did walk last time he was up, but was put out on the fielder's choice. 2 outs here and a runner at first. We'll see if he's able to manufacture. First pitch he sees is a strike. That was a very well hit ball by Babbitt. Was able to shoot it through the 5-6 gap there. Again, Rats 2-out hitting. It's been the narrative all season, and here they are showing off in this semifinal series.
Count goes 1-1.
A ball to strike. Contact is made, but it's fouled back.
A lot of souvenirs tonight. A lot of
Oh,
balls
yeah.
going out towards the street or maybe out into the stands. But that just shows that these guys, again, I hate to pound this in once more, but dragging out at-bats. That has been the key for both of these squads, dragging out at-bats.
Yeah, they see the pitches, and they're able to get a good read on the ball the longer the at-bats last. The 1-2 swung on and missed, so with the breaking ball, Turner strikes out Santana. But the Rats do tack on 1 more to make it a 7-2 ball game. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Coming right up. Welcome to the bottom of the 5th. Rats are up 7-2, and it's going to be the top of the DeLand order as Eli Tidwell steps into the batter's box.
Number 6, Eli Tidwell.
Well, shockingly enough, this top of the DeLand order hasn't been the most productive for them. Most of their production has actually come from this kind of middle of the order. You see a couple walks, and of course the RBI from O'Sullivan.
First pitch to Bronner is a slow one, and he's only able to foul that back, but you are absolutely right. William Rawlings grounded out twice. Holden Bronner was able to get a hit. Gavin Thomas only has one hit in the playoffs, and that's a bat that you really need to rely on here. Such great power. 0-1 to Tidwell is low for ball number 1. So with the top of the orders can be Eli Tidwell. Behind him it'll be William Rawlings and Holden Bronner make up the top 3. If the Suns are able to manufacture a base run, it'll be Gavin Thomas hitting cleanup. But Tidwell pulls ahead in the count as it's 2-1 on him. Schwartzberg deals and swings and misses on that one. Had some good velo on that pitch right there. Most of the pitches we've seen from Schwartzberg have been floaters. I don't know how else to describe them.
No, but you're right. You know, Schwartzberg is the sort of control freak, you know. Doesn't put velocity on him a lot, but that's also big to his sequencing there is you start him off with a couple slow breaking balls, you know, the ones, like you say, that just float into the strike zone. And then on the 0-2, on the 1-2, bam, fastball, hit him mid-80s. Really not a bad fastball for his type of, you know, pitching scheme.
So 2-2, we'll see what Schwartzberg does here. He deals, and that's another breaking ball and misses inside for ball number 4. So Eli Tidwell reaches base for the second time today. That is, I believe, the 3rd leadoff base runner for DeLand in this contest, and it is. And with that, William Rawlings steps up to the plate.
5th leadoff walk.
Number 5,
It's just been back and forth.
DeLand still has a chance. It's only the 5th inning, but you need to start chipping into that lead now, because if it gets to the 7th, 8th inning with a 5-run deficit, have to imagine the River Rats will pull a victory out and head to the championship.
Yeah, 5 runs puts them in mercy rule territory. And the clock is ticking for DeLand. The Rats are only going to continue to get hits, and for DeLand, they need to start kicking on the gas now. They do have this guy at first base, but they have been prone to leaving guys on.
William Rawlings puts a good wood on the ball, so that's going to be a single for him, his first hit of the ball game. That moves Tidwell over to second base. Rawlings occupies first. And we've seen in this one, the Suns have been able to put runners at first and second. It's just been bringing them across. That's been the issue here. They scored 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Rats were able to put up zeros in the first and the 4th inning. And we'll see what Schwartzberg does here. First hit issued by Schwartzberg in this outing.
Yeah, Schwartzberg started off pretty nice. 2 strikeouts, almost back-to-back. Was broken up by that walk to O'Sullivan.
Schwartzberg swings and misses on the first pitch he sees. Holden Bronner's been having a great playoffs. Went 2 for 3 in the playing game and 2 for 3 yesterday. Already has a hit in this one. Good opportunity to bring in runs as Tidwell at third. Both runners go. Hard hit ball by Holden Bronner. That's going to land in center field, and with a hit and run, Eli Tidwell easily scores. William Rawlings is in third base as Puckett is unable to field the ball. So RBI single for Holden Bronner.
That's how you do it. Placed perfectly. Hard hit in the center field. Dawson Mock was a little farther back than I think he would have liked to have been. He had to play it off the hop. And that throw to Puckett, of course, a little mistimed and a little low. Perfect for the DeLand Suns, the ideal scenario with nobody out.
I still will give credit to Mock. Even with the hit and run, he made the play at third close, as William Rawlings was just able to get in there in time. So with runners at the corners, there'll be Gavin Thomas, but there will be a meeting on the mound, and Schwartzberg's day is done.
Yeah, Schwartzberg coming in, only pitching a little bit of an inning, if that. And for him to come out of this game, it will be another change of the guard for the Rats, but a change of mindset for the DeLand Suns. They see that they're chewing into this Rats bullpen. They know that the Rats bullpen's weakness has been walks and has been poorly timed hits, to say the least. So you see some new guys coming in, and you think, hey, maybe this is our time.
So the Suns have a chance to put up a crooked number, but it'll be a pitching change for the Sanford River Rats. We'll tell you all about them when we come right back. new arm out of the bullpen. It'll be Johnny Sosnowski, and he inherits a sticky situation with runners at the corners, no outs. DeLand has already scored 1 in the inning and have a chance to put up a crooked number for the first time this game. It'll be Gavin Thomas who comes up to bat, but Johnny Sosnowski assumes duties on the mound.
This season against DeLand Sosnowski, only 2 strikeouts, but he has not let off any hits. A small sample size against DeLand. He's only faced them twice in relief, but it is going to be interesting to see how he adjusts to this high-stakes game now for them. They're still trying to hold on, and he inherits runners on the corners. Sosnowski has definitely got his work cut out for him.
Thomas 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Prime opportunity for him to make an impact here. First pitch we see from Sosnowski as runner goes, and that plunks Thomas, so that will load the bases. Holden Bronner moves over to second. He was in motion, but with the hit by pitch, it will not be a stolen base, and Gavin Thomas reaches for the first time today.
Yeah, it's a tough outlook, you know, when you hit a guy first pitch. You hear some screams from the dugout. You think maybe it was like when a guy is up on the tee box and you just hear noise and it throws you off a little bit and you shank the ball way out into the woods. Maybe something like that, but nonetheless, hard for Sosnowski to hit his first guy, and now he loads the bases.
And here comes Kevin Brunette. Brunette has 2 walks, so patient day today, and a walk here would mean a run comes across. Kevin Brunette does represent the tying run as well.
If you're the Rats, you're looking for a ground ball here. You got Calise and Spiker who are able to turn to the corner infielders playing on the infield grass.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to come out of this bases loaded situation with no outs without at least allowing a run to come across. But you are right. If you're able to get the double play, yes, a run might score, but you keep a pretty solid lead. The 1-1 to Brunette, swung on and missed. Good breaking ball from Sosnowski there.
It would bring this game within 4, the double play. Still no outs recorded on the board, but with the strikeout and the double play, it would be easy for the Rats to get out of this inning, but they have to stay tight.
Sosnowski ahead 1-2 over Kevin Brunette. Waz Rawlings at third. And Brunette swings and misses on that one. That's going to be a strikeout for Johnny Sosnowski. And that's what the Rats need right there, as a double play will get him out of this one.
They're hunting for it, but they've reached the heart of the lineup, O'Brien, Thomas, and Sullivan, if we get there.
Now batting center fielder number 4, Michael O'Brien.
O'Brien walking his last time up, and the error on the second baseman. That's Daniel Spiker back in the second inning.
O'Brien, you are correct. First pitch to O'Brien in there for strike number 1. So after plunking Gavin Thomas, he's able to lock in as he struck out Brunette and now has O'Brien behind 0-1.
And sometimes you got to get it out of your system quick. All right, hit the first guy. Now let's throw some strikes.
No room to put O'Brien. He moves out of the way, but it's called for a strike. So ahead 0-2, favorable pitcher's count for Sosnowski here.
Some action on both ends of the dugout, both the Suns and the Rats.
The 0-2 to O'Brien, swung on and missed. That is 2 consecutive strikeouts for Johnny Sosnowski. So after loading the bases with plunking Gavin Thomas, he strikes out Brunette and he strikes out O'Brien, and Sosnowski well on his way to keep it at a 7-3 ball game.
Justin Junia coming in, the new catcher.
Yeah, he bats in place of Shane Thomas. First pitch to him, swung on and just hit straight towards Spiker. He throws on over to first base, and Johnny Sosnowski, he does load the bases with the hit by pitch, but strikes out the next 2 batters, and a ground out by Jackson Jania gets him out of this one. The DeLand Suns were able to score 1, but with the bases loaded and no outs, unable to do anything with it. Rats still lead 7-3, and we head to the top of the 6th inning. new arm on the mound for the DeLand Suns as we start the 6th inning. It's going to be Steven Sherapanya this summer. Sherapanya, 3.10 ERA. This is going to be his 6th start and 12th appearance. 29 innings pitched, 23 strikeouts, 6 walks, and 35 hits allowed. So really limits the free passes, but once batters get a beat on his pitches, they're able to run around on those bases. Yeah, you look, opposing batting average of 294. We did see him in that series against Sanford on July 17th, pitched 2 innings and only allowed 2 hits and struck out 2.
Oh, hung a breaking ball there.
Cameron King pulls ahead 2-1 in the count. King 0 for 1 on the day, has an RBI with a sac fly in the second. Hit into a fielder's choice in the 4th. Swings and misses on that one, so it'll be a 2-2 count on him.
Yeah, 2-2 on Cameron King. Like you said, the fielder's choice back in the 4th inning. And, of course, the sac fly. He's been such an unconventional player, and I hate to use that word because he's also an extraordinary player, but finds himself in some situations where he's scoring runs or getting on base in ways that are atypical to the normal baseball outcomes.
Yeah, works his way into a full count here if he gets on base. Opportunity for Dawson Mock, who currently stands in the batter's box, to do some more damage and potentially answer back after the Suns were able to put 1 up last time up. So we'll do the 3-2 again. Sherapanya deals, breaking ball misses just outside. So King walks, and that flips the lineup over, and it'll be Dawson Mock to face Sherapanya.
6 leadoff walks in this game tells you exactly where pitchers are starting, you know, trying to pitch outside of guys when they first see him.
And I mean, this River Rat staff bats so well, so you can't blame the DeLand Suns from trying to dance around them, but also when you get runners on and guys are able to make contact. Runner went, and the wild pitch, but he thought about going to third, but instead will return to second.
A speedy Cameron King aboard on second, and another base runner in scoring position for the River Rats. Dawson Mock almost taking one off the leg, but he will stay alive to hit.
Yeah, so it'll be Mock Calise, and if it gets there, it'll be Puckett. The 1-0 to Mock. He shows bunt. Perfect bunt fielded by Janilla. Throw on over to first base will be in time as the throw barely beats out Dawson Mock, but he is such a speedy guy that he made it close.
Yeah, Mock saying, I don't know about that one. You saw the sliding mitt or maybe some sort of wrist something fly off of him. That just shows how fast he was trucking down the first baseline. A close play at first base and a great effort by the infield there. You saw Jania and Sherapanya both converge on that ball and make a great effort to make the throw.
Yeah, that guy has some wheels, but good throw by Jania to just beat him out there, but with a run 90 feet away. It's Brayden Calise who will step into the box, and he's just had an absolutely phenomenal playoffs, but of course this is only his 2nd game playing in these Florida League playoffs, but he's been phenomenal nonetheless. Again, 3 for 4 last night, and in this one, he is 2 for 3 with a run scored and 2 RBIs, so already 5 RBIs in this Florida League semifinal.
Yeah, that bases clearing double back in the 4th inning was really what sealed the deal for the Rats.
The 1-1 is in there. Good fastball from Sherapanya to get a strike.
Broke this game wide open and took the lead, a big lead at that, against the DeLand Suns, who have been chipping away at it as we've moved on through this game, but they are running out of time. We've just crossed the halfway point of this game, and they've only put up 3 with the same amount of hits.
1-2 to Calise, misses outside, but again, these Rats just find a way to score. You see the scoreboard, and the Rats have been able to put up 2 zeros against the Suns, as opposed to the Suns only putting up 1. And though the Suns have scored in 3 frames, it's only been 1 run. Calise makes contact on this one. That's another hit for him and another RBI. It's a 3-hit, 3 RBI night for Brayden Calise.
You talk about situational hitting. That was about as situational as it gets. The infield was playing in on him. They were looking for the bunt, and he didn't swing with a lot of power. Poked one over the second baseman, Melendez, and the first baseman, Burnett, into the outfield, score the run. He wasn't looking for anything big, and that is exactly what they needed out of Calise.
Yeah, that pitch also looked a little wide outside the zone, but again, like you said, was able to put in solid enough contact where that landed in right field. And with king standing at third base. He easily walked to home plate for the run.
And there's still 2 outs to play with for the Rats, who are now up by 5.
That is the 8th run the River Rats have scored, and they now hold a 5-run lead again. As the second 5-run lead they've held in this contest.
Also, the second game, they have scored 8 runs this series.
They scored 8 yesterday. Run ruled the Suns in 8. Runner goes.
Ooh.
Hard contact is made, but that goes foul. Looks like it's a broken bat from Stuart Puckett.
Yeah, that'll be in the raffle on Saturday. Puckett has broken bat number 15. I was keeping count in my head.
15?
That is almost, I think, 15 broken bats for Stuart Puckett.
That sounds expensive.
Yeah, you know, they don't get provided bats in the series, so I wonder if he's on a first-name basis with Academy Sports over in DeLand. Or maybe Dick's Sporting Goods, depending on wherever he gets them. But, yeah, it looks like he's going to borrow one there.
Wow. That was maybe like the 4th or 5th broken bat I've seen this summer, and you're telling me that you've seen 15 from Stuart Puckett. Is absolutely ridiculous. But that also tells you that ball was hit very, very hard. And usually broken bat balls are hit very weakly, but that ball sailed. Unfortunately, it went foul, but it had some good velo behind it.
Yeah, look, Stuart Puckett single-handedly keeping the logging business hard at work here in the land.
1-1 to Puckett. Misses low. It's actually going to be a strike. Hits the lower part of the strike zone.
And I think Puckett's a little shaken up now. He hit that ball so hard down the first base line. And now he kind of has to reset. You know, he got a little break in between at-bats.
The 1-2 pitch, runner goes, and this is sent sky high. Gavin Thomas has a beat on it, brings it in for out number 2.
Yeah, well, it's not a happy at-bat for Stuart Puckett. You lose a bat and you lose an at-bat as well. Trucking back to the dugout. Probably about $90 in debt.
Yeah, I'm just looking up how much a wood bat costs. Then I mean, it would be some are going for $100. A max I'm seeing is $135 here. The cheapest is $80, but regardless, with 15 broken bats, that's a heavy, heavy tab to pay. Regardless, runner goes, throw on over to second. It's going to be wide, but Osmond Melendez applies a tag, but called safe, so that'll be another stolen base for the River Rats. That is Brayden Calise's second stolen base of the game.
Yeah, Calise is having a ball out here in DeLand. You talk about a guy getting comfortable in the postseason where a lot of guys may be uncomfortable or may not produce. You see it in the major leagues a lot.
This is hit towards Connor O'Sullivan. He's able to field it. Throw on over to first will be in time for out number 3. But the Sanford River Rats tack on one more, and so now a 8-3 ball game. Suns half of the 6th inning coming right up. Welcome back. Suns have another chance to chip into the lead, but the River Rats keep on tacking more every time it looks like the Suns make progress. The Rats answer right back, but Suns with another chance here in the sixth. And it will be Connor O'Sullivan who will lead things off for DeLand.
O'Sullivan coming in after that ground out from Junia. Had an RBI single back in the second. Of course, that is old news compared to what we have seen transpire in this game.
Yeah, just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, and Brayden Calise. What are you supposed to do against that guy? 750 average in the playoffs, 6 RBIs already. First pitch to O'Sullivan is a strike, and we'll see what Sosnowski does here. 0-1, O'Sullivan swings and misses on that one, so he falls behind 0-2. It'll be O'Sullivan, Daniel Baez, and Osman Melendez. Those are the three we'll at least see in this one. The 0-2 delivery taken for ball number 1.
It's a close pitch, and you know what? A good eye from O'Sullivan as well to let that one go, because that's a pitch most guys would probably swing at. A little lower in the zone, probably missed the zone.
So the 1-2 pitch to the shortstop, taken again. Another low pitch, misses, so it's an even 2-2 count on O'Sullivan.
2-2 counts all night long for both pitching staffs. Almost every hitter has been in a 2-2 count, it seems like, at some point.
Sosnowski deals. O'Sullivan swings and misses on that one, so that will be a strikeout for Johnny Sosnowski, his 3rd strikeout of the night.
Yeah, he has been dealing up here, no doubt. 3 strikeouts, like you just said. Good change of pace for the Rats, especially coming off the Waring and the Schwartzberg drama. Let off a couple runs and a couple walks. So to have a guy up there who's stable is good out of the bullpen to close out this game.
That is the 7th strikeout by the River Rats pitching staff, and now matches the DeLand pitching staff with 7 as well. But also the River Rats have had phenomenal defense all season long. So Daniel Baez now has an 0-1 count on him. Sosnowski gets set. Here's the pitch. It's taken for ball number 1.
Release point was a little off on that one. Don't think he really had the right pitch in mind. I don't think he really knew what pitch he was looking to throw.
The 1-1 count. Baez swings and misses on that one. It just seems like these DeLand batters have no answer for Johnny Sosnowski out there. I mean, we saw Gavin Thomas reach off a first pitch hit by pitch, but then Kevin Brunette strikes out, Michael O'Brien strikes out, and Jackson Janilla grounded out to end the 5th for DeLand.
Yeah, Baez certainly struggling there, but he's able to stay alive. He's fouling off pitches, although his timing is a little off. He's very late on a lot of these pitches that he's seeing.
So we'll do the 1-2 again. Sosnowski deals, swung on, and this is fouled to the left side.
Yeah, again, sending one out towards the parking lot, just able to stay alive.
Ball, 2 strikes and an out for Daniel Baez. No runners on. DeLand running out of chances here as they're down 5 and need to chip into this lead. That ball barely misses wide, so it'll be a 2-2 count on Baez.
Yeah, another close pitch and another good eye on Baez. On the 2-2, that's a pitch, you know, you're looking at, you're thinking swing, swing now, and of course it skirts right past the zone.
7th pitch of the AB, it misses inside, and it actually does not miss as it's called for a strike, and that is Sosnowski's 4th strikeout as he catches Baez looking.
Now to the plate, number
Back-to-back
17,
strikeouts
second
for
baseman,
Sosnowski, his 4th of the night. He has been an all-star so far tonight.
So with the strikeout, it'll be the Wizard of Oz, Osman Melendez, with 2 outs. First pitch he sees is a ball. That inside pitch really working for Sosnowski here. The 1-0 to Melendez, taken again, and that'll be a strike, so it's going to be a 1-1 count on him.
Big strike, and last time facing Melendez, although Sosnowski didn't face Melendez, he has hit into the defense every time he has come up.
So the 1-1 to Ozzy, and that's hit towards left center field. Jumping attempt by Brayden Calise, but it's just above his glove, so that'll be a 2-out single for the second baseman.
Good way to start and a good way to set up the top of the order. Tidwell and Rawlings, of course, if we get there with a guy on first base, just looking to chip away at this lead. The Suns are not totally out of it, only down by 5. And with the way they have been scoring a little sporadically, it is not out that they can maybe get some of these runs in the 8th or 9th inning.
Yeah,
but
Tidwell scored last time up, led off the inning with a walk, and was able to touch them all. Is good. Extra base stuff, too. First pitch just fouls that one back.
Big swing from Tidwell.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that.
That was more mumbling.
One of the most memorable hits from Eli Tidwell, at least for me, was in the game against Leesburg. Just about 3 weeks ago, Tidwell bounced one off the top of the wall in Leesburg. Really thought it was going to be a home run, but instead it bounced back into the field of play for a triple. Here Tidwell is. Runner goes. Throw on over to second will not be in time. So it's a stolen base for Osmond Melendez, and the Suns have a chance here with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, like I said, just chipping away as much as you can. You may not get to the diamond right away, but you got to break that, outer shell of rock before you get there. They just have to keep the pressure on the River Rats.
That's the third stolen base by DeLand today, and Tidwell makes contact on this one. That will drift foul and out of play. So it's a 1-2 count on the third baseman.
Yeah, 1 balls and 2 strikes. Dragging out at-bats. That is the key for the Suns' success here, dragging out at-bats.
Sosnowski with 28 pitches through an inning and 2/3. The 1-2. Taken for strike number 3, so that is going to be Sosnowski's 5th strikeout of the day, and second looking in this frame as he strikes out Eli Tidwell. Osmond Melendez was able to reach second base, but Suns unable to do anything with it as Sosnowski shuts the door on him. River Rats still up 8-3 as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Steven Cherapagna back on the mound for another inning of work. And leading things off for the Sanford River Rats can be Anthony Rucco. Rucco 1 for 2 today with a double. He was also hit by a pitch and struck out in the first. First pitch to him misses for ball number 1.
We descend into the 7th inning, and you look at the Rats.
Rucco follows this one back.
Not looking to slow down their scoring, but they've certainly hit sort of a pause after that big inning. Like I said, the Rats really buy them in bulk when it comes to runs. They'll score 4 or 5 in one inning, and then that might be it for them.
But they've been able to score in 5 of the 6 innings they played in so far. DeLand only able to put up a 0 in the 3rd against Sanford. Rucco pops this one up, and it's going to be Kevin Brunette coming in, and he catches it for out number 1.
Good play there from Brunette. You know, coming towards the dugout wall is certainly not fun. We saw Anthony Saliba have a scary moment in TFA, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it was Winter Park, one of the Orlando teams, coming in onto the dugout wall and having to pause. It's nice to see a fielder, you know, take that risk and make the play, because although he didn't run into the wall, he got the out, stayed safe, all is well.
Yeah, he came into it with a full sprint, but you also have to imagine that it was good on him that the ball stayed outside the dugout as well, because you know if it's landing anywhere near the inside, those River Rats are not going to be moving and make things easier on them.
Right through the legs of the umpire, and for a ball on Xavier Lopez, still looking for a hit.
Yeah, 2-0 count on him. Lopez makes loud contact on this. That's going to land in right field. I think he heard you, Christian, and decided to prove you wrong with a base hit there.
Yeah, well, I said he was looking for one, and a great hit for Xavier Lopez. Pieced it into right center field, exactly where it needs to go. Stick to the fundamentals. Don't swing for all that power. Just focus on the contact. The power will come.
That's his second hit of these playoffs, and that was a good sound off the bat. Landed just in front of Holden Bronner for the one-out single. First pitch misses outside. It's going to be Daniel Spiker batting for the Sanford River Rats now.
Daniel Spiker, also a pretty interesting night for him. Singled back in the second inning, and then back-to-back ground outs to third. Oof.
And he gets plunked here, so he'll reach base. And Lopez just will stroll on over to second. And that is the, I believe, third hit by pitch by the DeLand pitching staff in this one.
And two of them, I guess this season, have been Daniel Spiker. Spiker's been hit by DeLand twice in his career. And yeah, you're right. I think that's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it looks like 3 hit by pitches.
So with the HBP, it'll be Trey Babbitt who bats, and first pitch he'll see is in there, strike number 1.
And Babbitt was another guy who was able to piece one together and get a hit, and a nice hit at that. He split shortstop and third base and was able to find first.
So 2 runners on. We'll see if he's able to tack on some more for these River Rats. Next pitch as he makes weak contact. Attempt by Sharapena, but ends up being fielded by Tidwell. Throw on over to first is in time. That was great by Eli Tidwell to come in charging that ball. Steven Sharapena tried fielding it, but it was just out of his reach. Tidwell able to get the weak contact and throw to first for the out.
Yeah, 2 away, but the runners move to second and third for Manny Santana. Santana struck out and walked so far today.
I know we talked about this earlier. Eli Tidwell, excuse me, usually an outfielder, but making third base look easy. Manny Santana sends this one sky high to the right center gap. It's going to be fielded by Holden Bronner, and that is out number 3. That is the second 0 the DeLand Suns have been able to put up against these Sanford River Rats for the first time in 3 innings, and they're going to try to chip into this lead as they head to their half of the 7th. We're stretching here at Melching Field. Rats lead 8-3. New arm on the mound for the Sanford River Rats. There'll be Nico Halkis to take over on the mound here in the 7th. Leading things off for DeLand, it's going to be William Waz Rawlings.
Nico Halkis, the right-hander out of Tallahassee Community College, appeared in 11 games this season for the River Rats and 10 strikeouts and 6 walks with 12 hits alongside his 14 innings pitched. All adds up to 1.28 ERA.
Rawlings 1 for 3 on the day with the RBI. Had a single last time up in the 5th, had the RBI in the 3rd with a ground out. Falls behind 0-2 to the new arm, Halkis. Here's a delivery. Swung on, foul to the right side.
Able to get an early aggressive swing there for Rawlings.
So we'll do the 0-2 again. Waz Rawlings, one of the most patient batters. DeLand has done well two-way this season. We haven't seen him pitch in a little bit, but the 0-2 to him skips in the dirt, so it's going to be a 1-2 count on him.
And all-time for Halkis against these DeLand Suns. Last time we saw him, July 18th, 2 strikeouts and 3 batters. Only saw an inning, was kind of this gap guy to get some relievers going. And then way back, you look at June 17th. That's back when the season first opened, this first series. A strikeout, 5 batters faced, and 1 1/4 innings.
Rawlings takes the 1-2, so it's going to be a 2-2 on him. DeLand down by 5. Down to their last 9 outs here in this one. 2-2, missing low, so it'll be a full count on the extra hitter. William Rawlings has seen some time in the infield, but he's taking a step back, still doing duty as a batter, but he's kind of expended a lot of energy playing both as a pitcher and as an infielder. Payoff pitch, swung on, missed, so that is a strikeout for the new arm around the pen.
And I have a question for you because, you know, I'm not going to go on this rant about Ohtani, but I do want to ask you, not a rant, but a tangent. I do want to ask you, a lot of these college guys are coming into a game that is more favorable for a two-way player, and I want to ask you if you see this becoming sort of the norm, you know, where every team is going to have this two-way guy who hits and pitches.
Oh, 100%. And again, I know you don't want to go on a Ohtani tangent, but you just have to think every kid growing up wants to be just like him too, and they see that it's possible now. So you might see success. I mean, we see William Rawlings with success playing two-way, and we've seen also a lot of other guys play two-way this summer. A lot of baseball guys, because of just the way things are and how baseball competition in high school goes, you do see more two-way players in that competition. So yes, I do think as the years progress, we will start seeing more two-way players develop in college ball and maybe professionally as well.
Yeah, and you also have to think, you know, there's guys who are going to be drafted as two-way players. You know, guys who are going to be drafted for that exact ability to be able to hit and pitch. You know, this isn't something they're going to develop in the minor leagues.
So it'll be a 1-1 on Holden Bronner. Misses strike number 2. But you also think, I mean, when you look back at professional ball as well, of course the National League developed or adopted the DH ruling. But before that, you had it was valuable to have a pitcher that could put some contact on the ball. The guy that comes by in mind is Michael Lorenzen, currently pitching for the Royals.
Absolutely. Or even Max Fried, when he was on the Braves, was able to actually walk it off for them a couple times back in 2020.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting to see, but I mean, Ohtani broke out onto the scene. He had his breakout season in 2021, so you see all those kids looking up to him and saying, hey, maybe I can do that. So as the years progress, we might see some successful two-way players, but 2-2 on Holden Bronner, misses high, so it'll be a full count on him. Bronner 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles, popped out to the third baseman in the 3rd. Payoff pitch to him, misses low, and he has a walk and is on base for the 3rd time today.
Bronner able to work the count back in his favor and draw the walk. That'll extend this inning a little longer than what Halkis was looking for. He was looking for a clean 1-2-3 inning, and he was certainly on pace for it.
So with that, Gavin Thomas comes up to bat. He was plunked last time, so is 0 for 2 on the day, but was able to reach first on the hit by pitch. Has a strikeout and a ground out today. First pitch from Halkis, swung on hard contact, but he pulls it to the left side.
Hard contact was an underestimation. That was ripped down the third base line. Puckett nearly jumped out of his cleats. Had a great way to start an at-bat.
Yeah, Thomas early on that. It looked like it hit the inside part of the bat, so we'll see how he adjusts here. The 0-1 pitch, Thomas takes, and that's strike number 2.
You see Halkis working into these early 0-2s. He closed them out. His first batter he faced this inning, that was Rawlings. But this is where you start to see whether he's going to be hit or miss. He may throw 3 straight balls, or he may be able to close it out right here.
So the 0-2 to Gavin Thomas, he takes, and that's ball number 1.
It was a good pitch from Halkis and a good eye from Thomas. We've seen a lot of close pitches. None of these guys are budging on them, and you like to see that because it shows how disciplined they're being right now.
Exactly. The Suns need to do whatever they can to keep themselves in it, and they can't do that by giving away free outs. So with the 1-2, a runner on and an out, Halkis will deal to Thomas again. Runner goes. Thomas makes contact on this one. It skips off the glove of Halkis. Throw on over to first is not in time as it goes past the first baseman. So Bronner will head on over to third, and the Suns have runners at the corners. That was a good attempt there, but unfortunately it was just too tight of a play to make, and you try so hard. Spiker, hard throw to first, but it misses Mueller and advances Bronner to third.
Yeah, that's how quickly things can unravel in a baseball game. It only takes one throw like that to loosen the knot a little bit and completely let the load out. Luckily for the Rats, the guy is not standing on second, but unfortunately for the Rats, 90 feet away for the Suns and only 1 away.
So that's going to be an E4 for Gavin Thomas there. Bronner stands at third base.
It was a good effort by Spiker, but the throw was a little risky there. He was coming running in off the ankles. He's leaning.
Yeah, very off-balance throw from him. So with that, the inning continues, and it's Kevin Brunette up to bat. Brunette has also put together a pretty solid day, and first pitch to him misses for a ball. Brunette with 2 walks and a strikeout. He came around the score in the second. It was actually the first run to score for DeLand. Halkis checks on Thomas at first. Thomas not really known to swipe a bag, but you're looking to be aggressive here, especially down by 5 in the 7th.
You see Calise and Spiker set up for the double play ball. Not out of the ordinary for this sort of situation, but you think after what just happened to Spiker, if they're going to be a little hesitant, you know, to make some bold throws, they might just get the fielder's choice at second or the fielder's choice at first.
Pickoff attempt to Thomas. He's able to reach first in time. One's across the board, a ball, a strike, and an out for Kevin Brunette. Brunette, we've seen him as a catcher a lot, but he's also done some time at first base. He's playing at first today. Jackson Genoa, a very solid defensive and offensive option there. Kevin Brunette has a good bat, but
Throw over again, yeah. He's letting. Oh, go ahead. I was going to say he's letting these hitters get in his, or these runners get in his head.
he is, and we might see how that affects how he deals to Brunette here. Because if you're able to get into the pitcher's head, he might start to miss more, or maybe throw some down the middle and attempt to get strikes, and that is another pickoff attempt to Gavin Thomas there. Halkis knows that the Suns need to be aggressive here if they want to stay in it.
Yeah, it looks like he's maybe also buying time for himself, you know, just to get adjusted and really settle into the moment.
It looks like someone is up in the Sanford bullpen. Does pitch to Brunette, and that's a swing and miss from the first baseman there for strike number 2.
Yeah, more action indeed in the Sanford bullpen. It's a right-hander. Well, he looks to take a seat, so he's not warming up for now. They're going to reset in there.
The 1-2 to Kevin Brunette, and it's another pickoff attempt to Gavin Thomas. I should have counted, but I would assume that's like number 5 or 6.
I was going to say, that's, I think, number 5 of the throwovers to first base. Definitely trying to keep him in check. He wants to keep this double play. Is a valuable double play.
The 1-2-2 Brunette. Thomas goes. Brunette does strike out, but unfortunately Babbitt bobbles the ball a little bit, so Thomas has second base. And it looked like there's some confusion as Gavin Thomas thought it was a foul ball. He started walking to first base, and Halkis was preparing to throw on over to second to maybe catch Thomas in a pickle, but luckily Thomas was able to get a beat on the situation and return them safely to second base.
Yeah, well, baseball IQ is important, especially at this level. To walk off second base, he was unaware of what had transpired back at home plate. Luckily for him, he was given the key word, which is stay at second base.
So with 2 runners in scoring position, it'll be Michael O'Brien, and he swings and misses on the first pitch he sees for a strike. O'Brien struck out last time he was up. Next pitch to him, inside for ball number 1.
Another good job from Babbitt to just smother that and keep it in front of him. That is all the Rats need. A pass ball would be pretty detrimental to them and make it a 4-run game, which is not totally out of reach. They're holding on to that crucial 5-run lead right now as they trail off into the 8th inning.
It's been a pretty even line offensively. Rats with 9 hits, Suns with 8, but also situational hitting has made all the difference. Now O'Brien falls behind 1-2.
Also, almost 2 errors apiece. The Rats have 2, the Suns have 1. So it really has been a blow-for-blow matchup. You take that, that inning away from the Rats, that 4-run explosive inning, this would have been a much closer game, obviously.
And of course, that error by the Suns was in that 4-run frame and seems to at least made a solid impact on this one as Dawson Mock was able to score on it. And you'd think maybe Calise had 1 RBI instead of 2 if that ball didn't go away.
That is the beauty of baseball.
The 2-2-2 O'Brien, he fouls this one to stay alive. As the beauty of baseball, hindsight is 20/20, and you could think about everything that could have happened, but at the end of the day, we have to accept what did happen. Rats are up 8-3, and you can't take anything away from them as well because they've just been absolutely phenomenal. Still have yet to see a frame from both sides, though, of a pitcher facing the minimum, so good on both teams to at least put traffic on the bases. But with the foul ball, we'll do the 2-2 again. Halkis gets set, delivers to O'Brien, and it's inside for a strike, and he catches O'Brien looking, so Nico Halkis strands runner at second and third base and keeps it at 8-3, where we head to the top of the 8th inning here at Melching Field. the Suns are pulling out all the stops to try to manufacture something as Joey Irvin takes command on the mound. It's going to be Cameron King who will lead things off for the Sanford River Rats. King walked last time he was up and came around the score. Sac fly in the second, has an RBI, and then hit to a fielder's choice in the fourth. First pitch to King is in there, strike number one.
Irvin, last time he saw Sanford, 3 batters faced, no strikeouts, no runs, no errors, no hits. Really, nothing happened for him in the 1 inning that he faced Sanford.
Irvin did pitch in that playing game against Winter Garden, went 2 innings and recorded the W with only allowing 2 hits and striking out 2. The Suns were able to take the lead late in the 8th inning as they brought 2 across in it was a tight 2-1 ball game when Winter Garden leading, and then Suns scored to secure the 3-2 win. This is a hard hit ball and it gets past Tidwell. King rounds first base and he'll make it into second with a double.
Yeah, Cameron King able to place the hit and right where he wants it, right where he likes it. Down the line, able to stretch it to a double. The Rats continue their hot streak of hitting against the Suns.
That is the second hit by the River Rats that has gone down the third base line. And of course, with Eli Tidwell being a right-hander, his glove being on his left hand, it's very hard for him to be able to attempt to turn that play. So with that, the lineup flips over, and it's going to be Dawson Mock up to bat. Mock had a sacrifice bunt last time he was up. Mock's been actually fairly quiet, at least when it comes to his bat. No 0 for 1 on the day. 2 runs scored, though, as he's walked twice. So still producing offensively.
Yeah, had a stolen base back in the first inning off of that walk. Other than that, has not reached base other than a walk in the fourth.
Behind Mock, it's Brayden Calise, and with the wild pitch, King is able to advance all the way to third base.
He was looking for home. He was looking for home. He rounded third. He was ready to go, but they gave him the stop sign. That ball did not get away too far.
So it's a 1-1 count on Dawson Mock. 9th run for the Rats stands 90 feet away. And with that hit by Cameron King, the Rats now have double-digit hits. Next pitch to Mock misses inside.
Another inside pitch on Dawson Mock, although he's kind of left his walking days. His walking days have not really left him. Was coming up on the Sanford record for walks before he fell into a little break.
What record has this guy not broken this season? Also won the home run derby this year, just to add to those accolades. This ball is hit straight towards O'Sullivan, and it goes under the glove. That's going to be an E6, so Cameron King will score on that. That was a hard hit ball by Dawson Mock, but it was hit straight towards Connor O'Sullivan, and it just seemed like he didn't get the glove down, so it passed under him and into the outfield.
Yeah, there is no explanation for that. O'Sullivan had the glove down. I think he just pulled it up a little early there. You got to be focused when you're standing in the shortstop position, and you got to make sure that that ball is in the glove.
First pitch to Brayden Calise is inside. So now the Rats pull ahead by 6 runs, and that also evens the errors on the board with each team having 2.
Still nobody out for the Sanford River Rats.
Irvin deals. Mock scooted away from first but didn't commit. It's a 1-1 count on Brayden Calise.
Well, Mock thought about going there for just a second, but he held off. You know he's looking for a stolen base. That would be 2 on the night. 4 for the Rats in general.
The 1-1 misses low, so it's going to be a 2-1 count on Brayden Calise. This 1-2 punch of Brayden Calise and Dawson Mock has just been absolutely filthy. And then, of course, Dawson Harmon was with the team. That 1-2-3 was just dangerous.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The Rats lineup has been so lethal, and they've had to move some guys around. But Mock and Calise have stayed consistent in that, 2-3 spot or even that 1-2 spot for quite some time, as they are tonight.
Yeah, Stuart Puckett now occupies that 3rd spot, and don't let what I just said take any credit away from Puckett as well, because he's been such a consistent batter throughout the season. The 3-1 to Calise is taken, strike number 2, so it'll be a full count.
Yeah, it looks like Calise thought that was ball 4. It looked like it hit the zone and a little low on Calise, but that's a pitch that he would probably swing at otherwise.
Calise 3 for 4 today with 3 RBIs and a run scored. Mock stands at first base. We'll see if he goes. He does go. Calise makes contact on this one. It was a ball wide to the right. It looked like a hit and run sign right there, but Calise trying to make something out of not much there, and Mock will be forced to return first.
I know hit and run ball when I see one, and that was it right there. Do anything you can to get the bat on the ball. And he was swinging at a pitch that was a little outside, a little high. He just had to get the bat on the ball. He did that, didn't put it in play.
So we'll do the payoff pitch again, and we'll see if Mock goes in motion again. He is dancing there at first. Pickoff attempt to keep him honest, and he returns safely. Three balls, 2 strikes. Brayden Calise has just been absolutely tearing up these DeLand Suns in this series.
Full count pitch to Brayden Calise.
Mock goes again. Calise makes contact and hits it foul. So we're going to do the 3-2 pitch again.
Calise digging into Irvin's pitch count. It seems like every time a new Suns pitcher has come into the game, they have just been hit with an onslaught of foul balls, and they have been forced to pick out everything in their arsenal.
Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, you look at Sharpania compared to Irvin. I mean, those guys have very different velos, but the Sanford River Rats have not been phased by it at all, as they're able to put wood on the ball and keep themselves alive in counts. So here's the payoff pitch again. Mock goes again, and that is ball 4, Brayden Calise.
Well, the Rats continue their streak, and they are in Mercy Rule territory now, too. It would only take 4 runs to force DeLand to answer here. Time is ticking for Stuart Puckett, who's now sporting a pink bat. I think that is a Drake Harmon. You know, that's out of Drake Harmon's collection there.
Hopefully he doesn't break that one, as
Yeah, the loner.
he'll not just have to buy a new bat for himself, but a new bat for his teammate Drake Harmon. First pitch is in there, strike number 1. Did not like the call there.
First and second for Puckett.
Swung on, and this is hit towards Osman Melendez. Only play he has is at first base, so both runners move in scoring position, but at least as DeLand Suns get their first out of the 8th inning.
Just how the Suns like it. Get the guy out, although the run moves. Sets the play up for the next hitter.
But I mean, you would assume that the River Rats would not take their foot off the gas here. A run rule would mean that they get to go home a little earlier, and a victory today means they get an extra day off for the championship series. And this is a hard hit ball to left center field, but Gavin Thomas has a beat on it. Dawson Mock tags up. Both runners tag, throw on over to third, will not be in time, and that is a sacrifice fly for Jake Mueller.
It brings it within 3, 10-3.
That is the 3rd sack fly for the River Rats today. So again, just great situational baseball by them in this one.
To the plate, number 13, extra hitter.
So with that, Calise moves to third base. Mock scores. And with 2 outs here, Anthony Rucco has a chance. Rats have now scored double-digit runs in this one. First pitch to Rucco taken, strike number 1.
They were close last night, of course, that 8-0 shutout. But the Suns, you have to, you know, when you recap this series at the end of the night, regardless of what the box score says, the fact that the Suns were able to pitch so well to the Rats, and, you know, in this game specifically, although it is 10 runs, they scored 3 off the Rats, off some of the best people in the rotation. You have to recap and say, look, the Suns were not a bad team this season. They just faced some tough competition.
Yeah, they had some situations not go their way. But yeah, you do have to commend the Suns, Waring and Schwartzberg, Sosnowski. I mean, those are the top guys out of the bullpen. Waring put up a good start today. And now Joey Irvin strikes them out, so the Sanford River Rats put a across 2 in the frame and now hit double-digit runs. That's a 10-3 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. New arm on the mound for the Sanford River Rats. It's going to be Trey Wheeler leading things off for DeLand. It's going to be Jackson Janela.
Yeah, Trey Wheeler, one of 2 trays on this Rats squad. Wheeler.
Janela makes contact on this one, but it should be fielded easily by the center fielder, and it is for out number 1.
8 games, 6 strikeouts, 8 innings, pitching about an inning a game. The last time he was up on the mound was against the DeLand Suns, where he pitched an inning, a run, and a strikeout against 5 batters. So we know that the Suns can hit and score off this guy. It's just a matter of when. Can they kick into gear? They're down to their last 6.
Connor O'Sullivan up to bat. And I know you and I were talking about the run rule, but now that we're here in the 8th inning, even if the Rats tack on more in the top of the 9th, we will still play a full game of baseball.
Yeah, you're right. 9 innings in this contest. The rain could not hold them after the delay.
I want a Connor O'Sullivan hard hit ball, but that's fielded by first baseman. He's just going to tap on the bag for out number 2.
And yeah, look, the Rats have shut down the Suns this inning. 2 up and 2 down, although we've seen the 2-out rally sort of become in this mix. That's how the Rats have scored most of their runs.
And it's going to be another pinch hitter. If my recognition is correct, it'll be Jesus Rodriguez.
Number 16, Jackson Ciennes.
It's actually going to be Jesus Rodriguez, number 16.
Rodriguez coming in the pitch hint. Yeah, they're going to throw everybody they can in here.
And I mean, it is to try to get something going, but also all these players have put in such a great effort, so you do want them to at least get some time playing in their potentially their last game of the season. But Rodriguez starts off 1-0, And he foul tips that one, so it'll be a 1-1 count on him.
Couple all-stars on this DeLand squad.
Yeah, you got some William Rawlings, Gavin Thomas, Michael O'Brien, Paul Janesco as well, and Steven Cherpena. But also, more than a couple for the Sanford River Rats. Rodriguez makes hard contact on this one. Unfortunately, it lands foul.
Out towards the corner in the batting cages in right field.
So it's a 1-2 count on Jesus Rodriguez with 2 outs.
To look at what this DeLand team has overcome, they lost 11 games straight, and now they are playing in the semifinals here in the Florida Collegiate Summer League. That is not something to ignore. The fact that they were able to overcome that loss speaks great lengths about what goes on in that dugout, what goes on pregame, what's talked about postgame.
And you know, some people can make the argument, oh, 5 of the 6 teams make the playoffs, but no, DeLand was able to clinch the 4 seed as well to get home field advantage, as they were able to pour some on the Diamond Dogs and the Winter Garden Squeeze in those last few series of the season. But you're absolutely correct, Christian. I mean, the adversity this team has faced, they are absolute fighters out there. But Jesus Rodriguez strikes out there, and that is the first 1-2-3 frame of the ball game, and that just is a testament to how well both these teams have played offensively. But with that, it's 10-3. Rats still lead, and we head to the bottom or the top of the 9th inning here in DeLand. On the mound for DeLand, it's going to be Bryce Roth. It'll be his 9th appearance of the summer. Have to assume Coach Cameron Jurgens giving every guy a chance here, as here in the 9th inning, the Suns are down by 7, but what a season it's been for the Suns, and they still have a chance when we go to the bottom of the inning, but right now they will be forced to play defense as the Rats come back up again. But this summer, Roth has a 8.77 ERA in 13 1/3 innings pitched, 24 strikeouts, 20 walks, and 11 hits issued. Last time we saw him was on July 16th at Winter Garden. Actually pitched some pretty good baseball. Went an inning and 2/3, nabbed the W. Only allowed 2 hits and struck out 2 in the outing.
Well, he is coming in dealing against Xavier Lopez, who got his first hit last inning after 8 innings. He was able to reach base on the single.
Lopez pulls ahead in the count, 2-0. Next pitch to him is hit high, but it will drift foul.
Yeah, 2-1 on Lopez. A walk, 2 strikeouts, and then, of course, that single like we had just mentioned for Lopez, finally breaking into this game.
So the 2-1 on the X-Man. Roth deals, and this is hit towards left field. Gavin Thomas gets under it and records out number 1.
Fly out to left on Lopez to start things off in this inning. The Suns just looking to keep the mentality up. Although they're down by 7, they have the bottom of the 9th, and it's not so far-fetched for them to come back on the Rats. We've seen it before in Leesburg. We've seen it before in Winter Garden.
Cooper Pittman, pinch hitter, hits first pitch straight towards Eli Tidwell. He throws on over to first base for out number 2. So 2 very quick outs for Bryce Roth as he comes in relief. Yeah, and you do say that because I remember that first series against Leesburg. I was covering that Sunday game, and Leesburg was able to tie it, and then going into the 10th inning, they tacked on 12 runs in that 10th inning. So anything is possible here. 7 is less than 12, so you do know that it is at least feasible here in the Florida League.
Another pinch hitter on deck for the Rats, Caleb Rhodes, the new addition to the Rats lineup. We saw him make his debut in the regular season at the tail end of that regular season with the Orlando Snappers. Made the postseason roster and is here in the postseason as the pinch hitter.
That is a 1-1 count on Babbitt, though. So, yes, if Babbitt reaches, we'll see the pinch hitter next AB. The 1-1 from Roth. Taken for strike number 2. And it looks like threw the ball away, but with no runners on, it doesn't beat them in any way. So ball 2 strikes, 2 outs. Babbitt settles back in.
Taking his time on the mound as well.
The 1-2 from Roth. And it just misses up high, so it'll be an even 2-2 count. Deuces are wild on the board.
It's a close
2 balls,
pitch.
2 strikes and 2 outs. It was a very close pitch. Breaking ball looked like. The 2-2 from Roth. Swung on. This is sent towards left center field. Hard hit ball, but looks like O'Brien is able to get to it in time. So a 1-2-3 inning for Bryce Roth on the mound. The second inning in a row where a pitcher sees the minimum, and the Suns will have one last chance. And if they score 7, they tie it up. But if they score any less, their summer is over. 10-3, and we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Suns down to potentially their last 3 outs of this 2025 FCSL season. New arm on the mound for the Sanford River Rats.
Yeah, Caden Lopez has been the premier closer for the Rats. It's no secret that they've been holding on for him for this exact moment. This is the guy they want to pass the torch to, and this is the guy that they want to close out this game and potentially a finals game if we get there. He's got a .79 ERA through 10 games, 11 innings, a whopping 19 strikeouts. This guy is the Mariano Rivera of this battery.
And it is good for him to get some reps here. I know it is a 10-3 lead, so not necessarily a save situation, but you do want to get him warmed up and ready for that championship series that starts on Saturday.
Looks like an error on the first base umpire down there, right through the hands. But yeah, you're right. Look, they want Lopez to get as much time out of the bullpen as possible, especially coming up. They do not know if they're facing the Snappers or the Leesburg Lightning until tomorrow. That game was rain rescheduled, of course, was supposed to be played tonight, was rain rescheduled. So for the Rats,
lean things off for the Suns' last hope. It'll be Osmond Melendez, it'll be Eli Tidwell, and William Rawlings to make up the three we'll at least see in this one. 1-1 count on Osmond Melendez. Lopez deals, Melendez takes, and that's strike number 2 on him.
On a 1-2 count, they're just looking to keep swinging. One foot in front of the other. It's baseball. You never really know what's going to happen.
You don't know what's going to happen. Again, we were talking last inning. Leesburg was able to put up 12 runs in Game 3 of that initial series. Next pitch to Melendez. He knew that strike number 3 before the umpire even called it as he walks back to the dugout, struck out looking, and that is the River Rats' I believe 13th strikeout of the day, so pitching just absolutely lights out today.
It's been a pitching-heavy night for the Sanford River Rats. It's something you don't see often out of the Rats, usually an offensive and kind of defensive superstar team, but tonight pitching showed out when they needed to out of the bullpen.
They struck out the Suns 15 times yesterday, and now they have 14 strikeouts in this one, so I mean, this is great momentum you want to see when going into the championship series. First pitch to Eli Tidwell misses. Lopez deals again. Tidwell swings on this one. That's fouled to the left side.
Again, gets him in a 1-1 count. Lopez is known to work very quickly through batters. You don't see a lot of these at-bats get drug out because they're either getting hits or they're getting struck out.
So with a 1-1 count, Lopez gets set, deals. Tidwell makes contact on this one, and that goes to the left side again. So it's going to be a 1-2 count on the third baseman. Tidwell had a pretty solid season for DeLand, was a great extra base hitter. He bounced around the Suns lineup, batted leadoff a few times, bats leadoff today, but also batted in that 2nd and 3 hole, but a phenomenal guy for this DeLand Suns offense. The 1-2 to Tidwell, swung on, this is popped high. In comes the left fielder, King, and he's able to collect it for out number 2.
Down to their last strike, and again, what a summer for the DeLand Suns. Although it will most likely end in heartbreak for them, you have to look back in retrospect, again, overcoming so much this season.
Yeah, and this team started off, I believe, 5-1, and then they went on that 11-game losing streak. They were finally able to end it, and I was there when they broke that streak, and it seemed like the 4th of July. First pitch to Rawlings, swung on, he chased it for strike number 1, and seeing that team get their spark back, and they were able to battle back, but also you had guys like Daniel Baez and Nathan Rico able to pick their bats up and make contributions to this team. They ended up notching the 4 seed, and now the DeLand Suns are down to their final strike as William Rawlings falls behind 0-2.
Yeah, William Rawlings looking to be the hero and drag out the season. Caden Lopez looking to be the hero and put the finishing touches on the season.
And misses outside for ball number 1, so the DeLand Suns will be able to see at least one more pitch. If Rawlings manages to reach, it'll be Holden Bronner behind him and Gavin Thomas in the hole. But what a River Rats team here, and if you're going to lose to anyone, it might as well be this phenomenal River Rats staff. The 1-2 pitch to Rawlings. Check swing says he didn't go, so it's going to be Deuces Wild maybe for the last time. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Giving me one more Deuces Wild for the road there, I see.
I needed it, man. I needed it. But also I wanted to make the staff to our far left. Cringe a little bit. But 2-2 on William was Rawlings. Lopez deals. Misses outside again, so it'll be a full count on him. Rawlings able to battle back from the initial 0-2 count. But also, again, talking about the Sun staff again, you look at guys. Maddox Meeks had such a phenomenal season. He pitched a great game in that playing game. Gavin Thomas finishes the regular season with the home run lead. And the 3-2 misses, so William Rawlings works a 2-out walk.
Yeah, able to play hero here and extend it and, just kind of ramp up the anxiety here in the stadium. The Rats are 1 out away from clinching. The Suns are just looking to hang on by that thread there and keep anything going.
Yeah, see the DeLand Suns trying to milk out a little more baseball here, and it'll be Holden Bronner. Standing in the on-deck circle will be Gavin Thomas, and Sean McArdle actually heads out to third base. He hasn't seen third base duties in a few weeks. Was out sick for a little bit, so Cameron Jurgens assumed those duties. First pitch to Bronner, fouled to the left side. So, yes, Coach Cameron Jurgens took over third base duties, and even after McArdle came back, he stayed there at third base, so it's good to see Sean get some reps there at third.
Nice way to just put the bat on it there, too. Keep the pressure on Lopez.
The 0-1 to Holden Bronner. Bronner's had a very solid day today. 2 hits. Fouls this one back and falls behind 0-2.
This is like stuff out of a movie. Trying to hang on, trying to come back. 2 outs. 1 game away from extending into a Game 3 situation. And they just keep the pressure on Lopez.
And, at the end of the day, these guys just want to play more baseball, and that's what they're going to do here. But Lopez does have Bronner behind 0-2, so the Suns down to potentially their last strike of the summer. And the pitch to him is down low for ball number 1.
That was a close pitch, too. Almost a strike, very low, but very close.
William Rawlings stands at first base. Double-digit runs by the Sanford River Rats in this one. Brayden Calise with a phenomenal day. 3 RBIs in this one. The 1-2 to Bronner. Fouled back, and he stays alive.
Yeah, look, you always find a little bit extra mileage in the tank when you're running on empty here, and that is what's going on here for the Suns. They just found a little extra mileage, and they're making contact.
Yeah, they're trying to make the most of what they have. So 1-2. They'll do it again. Rawlings at first. Lopez settles in. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. That's a strikeout for Caden Lopez, and the Sanford River Rats have clinched a spot in the 2025 FCSL Championship. What a 2-game set from Sanford. They run-rule the Suns yesterday, and they put up 10 in this one to secure the win.
Yeah, absolutely, Adrian. It was a tight-end offensive show-out for the Sanford River Rats. The DeLand Suns really did everything they could. Their defense was a little spotty there. Their offense was able to show up, but the Rats, obviously, with that big inning back earlier in the game, and, of course, just kept the pressure on them, able to lock it down defensively. Of course, that's just baseball.
Yeah, unfortunately, with that, the DeLand Suns' summer is over, and we talked just about how much adversity they face. Coach Cameron Jurgens does have to be proud of himself, and it's only his second year as a coach here in the Florida League. Was the runner-up last year and was able to make it to the semifinals. But let's look at these River Rats. You got to talk about Brayden Calise, who went 3 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. Right behind him, Stuart Puckett went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Just great offensive performance, and I believe it was about maybe 5 or 6 stolen bases from this River Rat staff. They've been unbeatable. It was a David versus Goliath situation, and unfortunately, Goliath came out on top.
Yeah, for the River Rats, they look forward to their next 2 off days, but they got to stay locked in for the, of course, White Egg Finals coming up Saturday, Sunday, potentially Monday, pending the Orlando Snappers and Leesburg game. That'll either be played tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, probably Friday.
Yes, but the Rats move on as they clinch a spot in the championship. Christian, it's been a pleasure sharing the booth with you.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, my time this summer has come to an end, but it's been a fun one, and I do appreciate the Florida League for giving me this opportunity. But the River Rats win 10-3 in 9 innings, and they are on their way to the championship. I've been Adrian Elgato alongside my partner, Christian Boussier. We thank you very much for joining us, and we bid you adieu.